it's not completely straight. Look at this properly. Didn't look at this properly before I started. Subscribe to Undrops. Oh, it's Crunchyroll thing. That's a Crunchyroll thing. Yeah. Indeed. Crunchyroll thing is here. Anyways, good morning. Good morning, guys. How are you doing? Cheers. Cheers. I had to make it visible. I mean, yeah. You can't drink out of nothing. Apparently I can. Anyways, good morning, guys. How are you doing? How are you doing? So I was doing my job as I usually do, and I had some ideas, and I was like, we must make a thing out of these. Yes, else I forget them, and that would be bad. So I have ideas. As some of you know, I'm a pretty fervent D&D player. Something there. I'm a pretty fervent D&D player, and I've been playing in a campaign of one of my friends for the last 2.5 years, I believe. And I had some ideas to write my own D&D campaign, because it's fun. I've only DM'd thrice, but I think it's time for another one. At least prepare for it. So we're going to design a world. It's on the screen, so it's not really much of a surprise. We're going to design a world. Yes, the world. So there are a few things. Is it readable? I think we should make it a bit bigger. There, that's big enough, right? That seems good. Yes. World creation. I haven't thought of a name yet. That still needs to be done. Then the premise, setup, premise. What do you call it? Design. Design. Floating islands. That's the idea. Floating islands. I don't know how the people are going to go around yet. We have to think of that later. So floating islands. Yeah, I like the way it actually becomes a aeroplane. That's nice. Without floating islands, how do people get around? Question mark. The ground idea. Dream of a God. It's not the actual name, but for now this will be the name until we find a better name. Dream of a God. Let's make this. That's not. No, actually, you can do this. And there. So with floating island design, and a part of that is that so these are islands with parts of the goddess' face on it. Basically, that's not completely correct, right? I think we have to do it on top. If you take the floating islands, it's the design is above this, right? Yeah. That's not good. It's yeah. There. And there we go. Design floating islands. Tap there one. Tap there one. I have to do this way. Doesn't work. Okay. Goddess face. God's face broken up over time. Floating. Right, properly. Floating is a word, right? Floating. Infinite sky. I think that's the best way. So we've got floating islands here. That's good. Islands with part of God's face on it. So you have an island, for example, an ear on it, or an island with a part of a nose on it, something like that. But important part. But the God's part fit on the island, but with some scrutiny. With the scrutiny, you'll notice they are infinitely sized. The infinite size. Meaning all kind of mental things will break down if you start. So for example, you are on this island, you arrive from your boat, your ship, whatever you come from, and you look at the island and you see a mountain in the distance which vaguely resembles a nose, right? It's maybe a nostril? I think it's nostril, and you see it over there. It's a pretty big mountain, I believe 100 meters high. And then you get a roll for investigation or perception or stuff like that, and you start to notice that the proportions aren't completely right. It doesn't really fit. It is actually bigger than the island, but it fits on top of it. But actually, no, it's not bigger than the island. It's bigger than all the islands. It's actually it keeps on going. It goes beyond that. It breaks your brain basically at that point. And it becomes bigger than the known universe to you, at which point you'll faint or fall flat, and something will happen with you where you get cold damage, psychic damage, whatever. So let's put her in there. Second image. People just faint by just trying to notice. Notice, yeah. So basically, it's impossible. Impossible. That's one part of it. So we got floating islands, God's face broken up over time, floating in the infinite sky. That's good. We have to think of how people go around. I have some island ideas. This is the design. We don't have a name. So organization maybe. So there's no big religious group active. So how do we say that? There's no churches. I mean, there is no church, of course, but no organized religion. That's it. No churches, no chapels. No church, no chapels, no. Overarching religion. That's one. That also means there will be localized virtual small worship, localized. Of deified creatures. So we got protectors of mountains, lakes, etc. It's basically like a large bear, for example, gets deified, and it then people will worship it and give it tokens of appreciation or sacrifice or whatever. That's fine, but it's only small time thingies. It's very localized and does not ever become generalized. So that's one thing. That's the religion part. I think before religion, politics? Is it politics? The nations make up. It's not really a nation. Population? So they're mostly small villages, 1 to 4 per island, and I mean really small villages. 1 to 4 per island. Only 1 or 2 bigger cities. So cities will should be an XL there. Yeah, mostly just do it this way. Mostly small villages, 1 to 4 per island, 5 to 10 residents per village. So this way, that seems better. So 5 to 10 residents per village, 1 to 4 villages per island. So there we go. It's really localized and small. That's because I have not the best memory. I don't want to remember 1500 different NPCs. So yeah. So NPCs per island is very small. I need to think of how they do the food thing still, because I need to. I think they will all have farmers. I think they all have to have farmers or fishers or something like that to make up the food for the island. They're gonna be really small. And 1 or 2 bigger cities. I still have to think of those. And I still have to think of how big they will be. I'm not really sure about these cities though. These cities could be... we'll see. Maybe there will not be any cities. That's also possible. That's organization. That's design. Theme. Let's go theme. And we inspire this as a mix between Rimworld and One Piece, I think. Where lots of travel is the idea. We have to think of how to travel, by the way, because we haven't found that out yet. It could be teleporters, flying, flying boats of animals. That was the first thing I think of. Natural phenomena maybe allow for travel. Things like that. I still think of what the main thing. I'm leaning at the moment for flying boats or animals, maybe. We get whales, maybe whales and fish, maybe, I don't know. We'll see about that. But that will be for later. So small villages we have here. Village per island, only 1 or 2 bigger cities, no organized religion, no churches, no chapels, no overarching religion. Obviously that's already kind of in this first part. Local worship of deified creatures, protectors of mountains, lakes, etc. That's good. Let's see. So I'll have to put that back. thinking about to make the god itself. Actually, the name is gonna be the same line. That will be that will be his name for now. That's the idea I have. And let's see. Animalistic hunter. Animalistic hunter god. Burning mammoth. And he also will be... Is mammoth that way? Is it so? Yeah, that's better. That's better. Mammoth called Asmodom. So let's see. Will be a two-handed axe. I think two-handed axe sounds fun. But if you're a hunter, two-handed axe is too big to hunt with. So I'd say dual-wielding axes. Those will be his weapons of choice. And useful. And the idea about this is this is a god dreaming. God is dreaming this world. And the goal for this god, the goal of this dream, make friends. He's the singular god. He's alone. There's no one else, no other god. There's no one beyond him or besides him. So he dreams of this world and creates his world in his dream. And he tries to make friends, which means we can make the god appear at all times, because it's his dream, and he is part of the world. That's why the world is his face, it's his head, it's his thoughts. Which means we also get to play around with him a lot. He's often seen. The parties, of course, the ones he wants to become friends with. Those are the ones he designs to be friends of him. Often seen. Corn of iron up close. Entering a party. We'll see. The idea is that he's dreaming. And think of this world in which, well, his friends are. And his friends will, of course, be the party. That's the point. And the party will need some motivation to start traveling. We can think of a way to start to make the party travel. So theme is an organization. So let's go. The party. What's how can we get the party into this? So the party. Is supposed to become the god's friends. That's a point. The guard is always close. Sometimes one of the party can see more clearly, and I want to make sure that one of the party will not be only one of this, the cleric, or the one of this, the most religious guy. We want them to separate between who can see him at what points, and then maybe something will happen that the others cannot see, and I can then make little messages only for that party member, and he can get the message with a little text on it that says what he sees or feels or whatever, what happens, and I can explain some things. But you can never really focus on him because he's infinitely big, so he will never fit, and he'll always get it. He always get this this part, but then with just a guy sitting in front of you. So he's a fucking god. So yeah, you can't really look at him because it will break your brain, right? They have to become strong enough. They have to become strong enough. Yes. Parties to become strong enough so they can actually safely see, start to interact with Vulgaris without taking damage. That's the goal. I have to set up a level for that. At some level they can. Now he is a god, right? So if they see, for example, an inn, and you walk into the inn and you see a little inn, a coastal inn with a old-fashioned wooden counter, hardwood counter, and a bit of a grizzled barkeep behind it, cleaning a glass, looking at you as you come in. You see a few other people sitting there, just having a conversation. In the corner you see a big guy, actually a group of 4 people over there. One big guy in pelts, and they're having a party or something. They're having a lot of drinks over there, and you can't really focus them, you can't really see them clearly, but 3 of them look really familiar to you. You can't really point out what it is, and then let them roll and see if they can get a high roll. They know a little bit more, and also they roll low. They don't get anything more. They just see a little party having fun over there. That's it. If they try to engage with a party, then you get to the whole this part again, because they get to start getting seizures, bleeding nose, and stuff like that, because it's way too much for them, stuff like that. So that I think it will be the first introduction that they get into that inn. Now I still have to think of the party has to become strong enough so they can actually safely see and interact with Vulgaris. He's always close. Sometimes they can see more clearly, of course, with danger of damage. Now, how do we motivate the party itself? These are the goals, so I should actually That's a goal. Then we have to find a motivation for the party. Twofold. We want them to start traveling. That's our goal. Make them start traveling. And that could be because of traditions, maybe on the first island. Maybe something like so the first island is the island of travelers. So only travelers and the children adults live here. Age of X. After reaching age of X, children are, they're not chased off, but they are being sent away. So after reaching a certain age, the children are being sent away by the parents, by the adults. By those parents on their own travels, impossible to come back should be a thing there. So they will leave their family behind, whoever they knew, unless those others also start traveling again. But only if travelers reach the islands, they can stay there. Then we have to think of how they get their merchants, the merchants in, right? So we'll think of this one. I'm not sure about this one yet. There is a first very rough draft. And first island of travelers. That's where they lived. Oh, and also something in design that I like myself. Theme, design, islands, organization. No crossbreeds. I don't half angels or half celestials going around. I should do species, maybe. Yeah, species. So the species. Whatever's are out, because I'm a biologist and I don't like. Some things should not breed together. I don't think it works. No. Also, since we have no religion, no angels, demons, devons from the onset. Playable. Yeah. Because it doesn't fit with the theme. Now there could be angels and demons and devils in the world, that is optional. And normally, what do you call those things? We have neutral, good, evil, chaotic, all that stuff. And they're normally aligned. A normally aligned creature can be of any alignment here, so if you have chromatic dragons, they do not have to be perfectly evil. They don't have to be perfectly good. They could be... You can have a black dragon that is a good at two shoots. That's possible. So, I don't like alignment too much, so yeah, it just depends on the creature itself. Crossbreeds or whatever are out. But that does mean that Paragon creature possible. This is so you have only elves or dwarves or humans or all those things, and you can have exceptional examples of those species. That's possible, especially in islands, which is the island where everyone, let's see, especially on the separate islands, that's possible because that's where people come from different directions, different origins, and as a biologist, there's the head-rose effect. If you have genetics, look it up, which basically means if people from two very far different places get children together, the chances are very high that you get head-rose effect because they're so far that their genes are so different from each other that the combination of the two makes the strength from both be the dominant genes in the offspring. So therefore you get extremely much stronger and taller and more intelligent children out of people from very different backgrounds. The more different the backgrounds, the better, actually. So that would make for, in this case, paragon creatures, which is possible. Let's see, anything else? I already thought of one island already. Well, this is already one island, so I should make that complete, right? Motivation start traveling. The first island travelers. Only travelers on the show live here. Reach age reaching adulthood. I want to use this because adulthood. No, right, adulthood. Yes, I want to make sure it's called adulthood here because we don't want to put a number on it. Because if you put a number on it, with an elf, you are an adult at 100. With a human, you're an adult at 20 or 18 or something, maybe even 15, depends on what you choose. And then it would be like, yeah, the elf could still be there for 90 more years. No. So when they reach adulthood, they have to go in little groups, I guess, for a group of friends. Their own travels groups. I think it would be nice to. This gives the for example, this would be the place where we start the scene where the party comes in, and the party knows each other from childhood. They know each other for a long time, and they know each other all their lives. And they decided to go on a travel together, as many other groups will also travel together when they reach adulthood. So to make this more fitting, on this island, I think everywhere, that age, no birthdays. Birthdays are only set dates for everyone. The same from the same first day of summer. Do the first day of summer, I think, and that would be a festival. If you know the Remedy Flies, this is the festival of Banapis. That's how he goes in his world. I will call it differently, of course, but that's the idea. That's the idea here. So this would help very much to make sure that the party will leave as a group. They are all the birthdays on the same day. Then they have a few days to pack, prepare, whatever, and then everyone of their age group leaves the island. Yeah, I think so. Everyone of the age group leaves the island. So there will be other groups as well, so I have to make more groups. Now, of course, they're from very small villages, right? I said about 5 to 10 residents per village. So 3 children to be ready at the same time. Maybe I have to up the residents number by maybe 10. 5 to 20 residents per village. That's getting pretty far in, but yeah, it could also be the low end. So that is more likely than to have so many children. Maybe this island just has a few more villages, that all the villages come together to a certain place where they have this festival. All the villages come together in this one village or this one place to have the festival. Then you have the celebration, the birthday event. And then they get and all villages pull together their children so they can all group together. So maybe you have a village for a dwarves village, maybe you have a humanoid village, you have an elves village, and some other village. And so they can group up from different races, even if they are not the same race. Or do we put all together and in one village there could be elves, dwarves, and humans at the same time? I mean, it could do the last part because of they're travelers, so they're used to Usually intermingle with other species, I guess. And then you have pairs of elves and dwarves and humans in the village. I think that's better, yeah. I think that's better. Because then it could be from any village, it could be from separate villages. So if they want something specific in the background that doesn't really fit with the others, they come from a different village where that background is possible. And they come to the centralized party zone, and then we combine the group there. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. Then of course we have to do I don't know the good name for this one, but these will be some islands. I already thought of the Island of Water. We can basically copy what we put in here, all right. So birth set date, that should be nationwide, so we could take that out. Put that there. There, okay. And the first island is Island of Travelers. So this was the motivation for the party for now. I need to get more motivation in there, but this is a so this is the Benefits Festival, and they are from the Island of Travelers, so therefore they need to travel because they are from the Island of Travelers. That's why. Okay. Only travelers are allowed to live here. After reaching adulthood, children are being sent away by adults' parents on their own travels groups. It's impossible to come back. Let's put it between brackets, but I don't really want them to come back to this island. That is my own idea. I don't really know why though. I don't really have a good idea. I just have to think of, hey, I might want them to not be able to return easily. It should be a travel. It should be actual travelers, and if they accidentally arrive, there must be more Island of Travelers then. There might be more Island of Travelers then. Might be more. Maybe the whole profession of traveling, or the whole idea of traveling, might be a specific nomadic culture, where if they reach an island they like, where no one lives yet, they can make a new Island of Travelers. How do we put that down? Travelers then should be a specific cultural group. The children are sent away to travel. When they found a spouse, a mate. When they want to that's pretty well written. So when you want to start a family, you can look for the Island of Travelers or uninhabited or uninhabited islands. Make it into an island of travelers. Not return to the previous home islands. Maybe visits? I'm not sure about visits though. I really want to that it would be a cutoff point. Yeah, your life is changing at this point in time, and now you break the bonds that you had, and you go your own way. And I have to think of how to put that properly. It has become a cultural thing where they leave the nest when they get adults, when they become adults, and then they fly around, travel around, and they find someone to partner up with, and then they travel together with the other one and found their own island of travelers, or go to another island of travelers and become part of that community there. And there they are allowed to live, but not on their home turf. I think that's an option. Give me a second, by the way. So in this way, you can, in this way, if you have the travelers, if for a moment assuming there's only travelers, then you get this point where there's an infinite amount of islands. People can inhabit any one of them, and because these are all travelers, all islands will be inhabited. Sorry about that. Will be inhabited by travelers themselves. And because the children cannot stay or come back, they cannot grow. So therefore all villages and stuff will remain small, which keeps this world intact as a small community world. I like that. And it could be many different islands with many different... Maybe every island could have their own atmosphere. It might be swampy islands, it might be salty islands, it might be islands with desert on top of it, I don't know. Stuff like that. Yeah, for now I want to keep it. Also need to save this. Save as. So there. Let's save as. What shall we do with this? So you don't have a name yet. So let's call it God's Dream. On his world creation. There we go. So saved. Good. So we got them a motivation. We got them a culture. What else? Of course, we have to flesh out the island itself, of course, and get NPCs on it. Sorry. Now, of course, it's meant for a D&D campaign. So they have to get their equipment from somewhere, but seeing there are so many islands, there might be merchants, maybe another merchants as well. So that would be the organization, the organized religion. Inhabitants, travelers. I'm not sure if mergers will be different, but for now I'll give them a different name. Colonized islands. Those are the very basic things. Merchants. Will merchants settle or will they fly around all the time? Which makes them travelers as well. Not sure if I put them separate for now, but let's... we'll see. Not sure if merch will be a thing separately. It could be travelers themselves. Just they don't still traveling, they just do mercantile, but then they have to come back and go. I mean, traveler should also be explorer, right? Should be a cool part of them. The exploratory, they want to find things. Now, of course, I don't think it will be a general government or anything. Maybe maybe some lawkeeper in a village, something like that. That's someone, a sheriff kind of person. But not really. I don't want it to be a feudal system. I don't want to be there to be a lord, to be a castle, to be a king and stuff like that. I don't want that. Maybe a few islands have that, but it will be a small thing and not generalized. So maybe city-states, as much as you can call the cities. Maybe there isn't even a mayor. Maybe not even that. Sorry. Lots of thinking. I started thinking all this up at 4 AM this morning, by the way. So yeah. Merchant. Let's see. For now, they travel on fixed routes between islands. Between fixed islands. Okay. Because at some point you have to bring your... You have to order your produce, you have to get more cows or more chickens or whatever you need for your food. You need to be able to trade in those. Maybe there's merchants' villages. Localized type as well. So think about localized marketplaces. Of course, kept stock there. It's not the right word for it. I'm thinking about this idea about if the travelers are just going around all the time to different places, right? Sorry, these are the exploratory kind. They will find new place to live, to settle, etc. Then the merchants, which could have been travelers before, they can become merchants if they want to, will then find a few islands to travel between. Think of the elephants, that's what I'm thinking of, where they go to different places in summer and winter, and they keep traveling all the time. They go from water pool to water pool. These merchants go to marketplace, but these marketplaces are only there when the merchant is there. And it might not be in a specific village. So for example, there would be a fair, that's the way. Localized fairs. Localized temporary fairs. For example, say something. Midsummer at that island at that time, a bunch of merchants come together to have a fair for a week, maybe 2. And then you can get all your trading goods from there. There's a festival around it, so it was the fairs festival. Weeks. And then all the people from other islands can come there to do their trades and then stuff. Of course, the merchants will also be traveling around with their on the fixed routes, but then there will be fairs, and maybe they only go to fairs, some of them, and then they just travel around, do whatever they want to do between that. Maybe they travel to far off place to get their produce and to sell it on the markets. We have to flesh this one out still. This still needs a bit more fleshing out, but I think travelers are good. Sorry, merchants are good. And I don't want them to be travelers because they do not explore. That's why they're not travelers. They're merchants. Merchants' families. A bit like nomads or a bit like nomads. Nomads, yes. So the merchants are the whole groups of people who travel together. And sometimes they split up and then they come together again. They split up and come together. And in those places there will be whole caravans which will go from place to place. Yeah, I think that's good. Family groups. Solitary or caravans. We both have to. Solitary, yeah, or caravans, both optional. Okay. What else do you need? You need tradesmen, of course, and tradesmen cannot always travel. Are tradesmen going to be in the travelers' villages and they pick up a trade? I think they need to learn a trade, right? You don't become a smith after seeing a smith for a few days. You have to actually do it, so... And where does a mage study? So there must be more. So the travelers, merchants, all of it is very mobile, which is good. So where do we put the other guys? I don't really want large sprawling cities, I don't want that. Maybe there exists one or two, but that will be a tiny fraction of it, I guess. There will be things that require time and people to stay there, and that will in turn will kind of force the foundation of a city, right? I mean, of course, the farmers need to keep their places, but that could be a traveler who became a farmer. Because farming, basic farming, is easy to learn, and then of course, if you get better, that takes time. But I don't want to keep this mobile as possible, but they do need to get their food. They do need to get their crafting done somewhere. Maybe just crafting villages? Food crafters? Craftsmen? Feels a bit weird though that they can't be travelers villages. Like a traveler needs his plow sharpened once in a while as well. So you need a smith or someone to be able to do that in those villages. Do travelers also travel with masters maybe to learn that kind of stuff? But that means I have to bring masters with the party, which I don't want to do. How do they get the good shit? Is a good question. I don't want it to just randomly magically appear. It's just, hey, here's gear you need, bam, there it is. You see a pile of gear there, and you're like, where did it come from? Ah, don't worry about it. That's not good world building. It needs to have a reason to be there. So you need someone who makes it. You could have a nationwide enemy, let's say goblins or something else that is also humanoid shaped, and they are the crafters. The only way to get armor is to raid or defeat the goblins, or whatever creature you make, take their armor, which the goblins are master crafters. Makes it a pretty evil society that's parasitized another world, right? That's pretty parasitic. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's kind of evil. Yeah. Because who are the actual goblins? The travelers who overtake villages and kill their women and children to get their loot? Or the people just, yeah, or the goblins themselves who are, well, actually goblins, but they are actually in their villages doing their own thing without bothering anyone. Yeah, that would be pretty evil. Yeah, no. So someone have to bring in equipment. How about summoners? You know, you have in Oblivion and stuff, you have summon armor and stuff like that. If you have summoners in this world, who could be a merchant, actually with merchants might also travel some summoners who summon armor and weapons and stuff from the ether. They just summon it. They don't know where it comes from. Magical hocus pocus. I mean, we're in a god stream, so. Summoners are crafters, maybe? I think it's interesting. Oh, that's not good. So here, yeah. Yeah. Summoners will take the role of crafters, where they summon the armor into existence, or they whatever you want into existence. I mean, it could be the same thing with food, then actually. Why are they not the merchants? Because they summon the thing, they can just summon it in front of you. Maybe that requires requires long-term setup. It's not like that. Requires long-term setup. That means that the summoner can not just travel from village to village to summon his thing. It needs to summon it at that location. Well, magic circles to make sure they want to protect them, so stay with the circles. And around specific magical places. So therefore they want to protect places. There's a few summoners at every place. They protect them, don't want other summoners there because it's their spot. Specific places specialized summoned items. So maybe one place can only summon armors, one place can only summon weapons, one place can only summon food, stuff like that maybe. Hey, what are you doing, mate? A new game? Yeah, I'm thinking of a D&D campaign. I'm trying to think of a world for a D&D campaign. So that's not correctly written. Summon, is that it? That's not it, right? No. Summon works. And now it works. Okay. Okay, it works now. I'm trying to think of a world for the D&D campaign. I was thinking this morning about it, and I was like, yeah. Sorry. I've been playing for 2.5 years with our current campaign, and I've only DM'd myself twice so far. Long-term campaigns, but I'm thinking of just starting to write my own campaign. So, because at some point I don't really DM much. I think it's fun to do. It's a lot of work though. So if I start thinking of it now and start letting it in the head, I can at least do maybe a year of D&D and just not have always the same guys have to DM all the time, you know? But nice, an idea for a game too. So I started learning Godot this week. Oh dude! But my free time is rare, so the game development will take years. That's fine, man. As long as you enjoy it and have fun, that's great. I still have the sheep run. I still have that in Godot as well. I need to keep working on that. I have not touched it, to be fair, in a while. I need to keep doing that. But yeah, it's fun to just think of something. And if I can make this thing cool, this world cool, maybe I could at some point put it into a game. I never know. You never know. But yeah, the concept here that I have for this morning was we're in the dream of a god, and this god is the only god because he is the god that's streaming. And he dreamed of this world. It's a mix between River of One Piece, basically. That's the idea. There will be weird and wacky stuff happening. Not everything is logical because the god is not that detailed in his thing. Helps me as well because my memory is not the best. So if I forget things, the god was a bit whimsical this time. You know. And One Piece, lots of little places to go to, all specialized with something specific. Lots of travel in there. And I'm trying, and of course the world is made up of the god's face, the dreaming god's face, broken up over time, floating in the infinite sky, with millions of little islands and islets. Yeah, island and islet, yes. And I haven't found out how we're gonna travel yet. I could think of it yet. It could be all of these things. I don't know yet. I do not do crossbreeds. I think half dragons, half whatever is just this nonsense. How can a human mate with a dragon? That just doesn't. No, I don't like that. So no half nonsense, but we do have paragons, the better versions of, you know, stuff like that. And I just think of why would my players be traveling? So I make my players travelers. That means they are born in they're born on an island of travelers. And travelers are a specific group of inhabitants of the world who are exploratory. They spread around. They spread around, sending offspring to travel on reaching adulthood. Reaching adulthood, and they call us islands. I try to make the world work now. And actually, a thing I just thought of. I've made a merchant because you need some place to buy your stuff, right? Zabarudo! Hello, some guy? Zabarudo. Yes. Are the pirates here? At the moment, not yet, but I haven't thought of a place where pirates would be. I mean, I assume there will be some kind of bad stuff happening, so probably yes. But I have thought of this the second island. I haven't talked about this one yet. The island of water is kind of interesting. This one. So there's an island you can walk around, a big lake, in about 3 hours. You cannot see. You cannot see the other shore from any point. There's 4 bridges on the edge, right? Let me grab my paint here. So basically the islands, the idea about it. There are floating islands, it's floating. And there's a lake on it. And there is villages on a village, actually just do it that way. One village here, one village here. And you can quite easily walk around it. Walk around it is about 3 hours. That's about 3 hours to walk around it. But this water here, you cannot see the other side. That is because this here is not just a normal lake. This lake here is actually, think of it as a black hole or a portal thing. Here is the elemental plane of water. So you cannot see the other side because if you get into a boat, a little sloop only. If you get into a boat, then you sail out so you can't see the shore anymore. There will be water everywhere, and you will never be able to get to the shore. You will never reach the shore. But as soon as you're in a little sloop, you can go in there, and you will always come near some kind of boat. They will always find you. You will always be found by a big boat. You cannot get a big boat from here outside, so you have to have small sloops only. And you are in the infinite plane of water from that point forward. There will be some islands here and there. And there you can have your whole pirate adventure, and people can go into the elemental plane of water and never come out for their life if they don't want to. And if they are born on elemental plane of water, they cannot come here. But if you come from here and you get on any kind of small sloop on your own, only with people from this plane, you just row away from your boat and you start disappearing from sight, and you actually appear near your own village every time. Really interesting to put a world inside a world. I think that's really, really cool. Huge effort to programming. Yes, it is. Oh, sorry about that, dude. Sorry about that. So that's one of the islands. That's the island of water. That's the whole thing about the island of water. So I want to make a lot of those islands, and that one will have a lot of piracy and stuff in it. So there will be a lot of piracy stuff, and they might take the whole campaign into there and just start playing there. That is possible. If they want to, they can. That's the idea. But if they don't want to, they can come back, because they're not from that world. So they can sit in any small boat and row away from the big boat, and they will come back to the village they left from. And for the ones who are from the plane of water, they will see the boat just slowly disappear. Indeed, they can see the boat still, but the boat becomes invisible and becomes transparent, and you blink your eyes and the boat's gone. And then the little boat's gone and it's actually on this plane again. So I think that's kind of fun. Formation edge. Lake house entry to elemental plane of water. Can see onto Lake on small sloop. Typing everything, but I want to make sure I type proper. Hidden fourth is that not how you say it? Maybe with this. Maybe that way. Hidden fourth. Hidden fourth. Here's the thing, right? House first. Oh, heads and fourth. That's henceforth. That is from this point forward. That's time. No, from place to place. I mean, doesn't seem to find it. Where would Uluru live if she was in this world? On the bottom. She would be right next to Ursula, the sea witch from Ariel. Yes, right next to her. Both witches together. Yes. Are the sea creatures in the water plane? Of course. Immense sea creatures, gargantuan sea creatures, but it all depends if they actually go there or not. But yes, all the crazy ass nonsense you can get into whole water campaigns, you can get there. All of that is possible there. And that's just one island. This is one. So the other elemental planes can be on other islands as well, or maybe different. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's one of the ideas I just had this morning. Was like, yeah, that's a cool island. And I'm not really sure if they. I mean, I'll probably make sure they'll get there at some point, but they might not even go to the lake, and then they will never know that this is the entire elemental plane of water is in that freaking lake. You know. I think it's kind of cool. Also, I think I put in maybe put an ear on this one. As I said before, we have this all these islands. It's the god's face broken up of the time. You always find a part of the god on the island. So also there'll be a nostril, there might be an eye, there might be part of a mouth, stuff like that. It's all part of the god that still lives, by the way. So if you get close to a crevice in the ground, small crevice, and you feel the airflow coming out and in, and it smells a bit of stale ale and, well, poor mouth hygiene. Yeah, that's his mouth is breathing. He's a mouth breather. You know? But the problem is if you focus on that thing and notice, wait, this is breathing, these are lips, and then you get to, and then you start. When the gold part fits on the island, but with some scrutiny. How do you write scrutiny? That way. You'll notice they are infinite size. So basically you get the idea of, but these lips, these lips here on the ground I'm standing on, these are too big for this island. That one, how are they fitting on this? This doesn't fit here. It's actually bigger than all the islands. It's bigger than, and eventually get to bigger than the universe, and your mind starts breaking, bleeding noses, sucking damage, and you go faint or die. Maybe depends on how stupid it is. The better you roll, the more damage you'll take in this case, because you are going further into the whole how enormous it is. I have to find a good way to explain it properly though. So yeah, the point is that it's it doesn't fit, but it's still there somehow, you know? That's the whole idea. There's a lot of things that just don't fit in the place they are, but they're actually there. And physics are out the window in this case, which is kind of fun to do. That's also why I have it as my inspirations. RimWorld over there, if you know RimWorld, you know that physics are weird in RimWorld. In RimWorld you have slow-moving lights, which is kind of fun. I don't really care about the light at this point, but yeah, just weird physics are a thing that will be there. Let's see. Only residents from this plane can travel in and forth and not bring desks of the mental plane for the back. The travel this place can only be done small with tiny drifting items, not really shiny. What I mean is, for example, you have a shipwreck, ship is getting destroyed, and someone is holding on for dear life on a barrel, and then he starts running away from the ship, and he's getting pushed away, and he's almost about to fall, and then suddenly there's crowds beneath his feet, and he then travels to the other plane, this plane. And apparently he is then a citizen of this plane, else he can't travel that way. So part of the crew of a ship could just disappear and be safe here. But if they want to go back, they have to get the boat or something to go back, and they might appear to a different ship. You never know. So I think that's a cool thing. Travel between places can be done between dimensions. Will be done in small sloops with tiny drifting items. I said a thing I need to write down, right? Don't bring us back. So, when traveling to the elemental plane of water, you'll always arrive in a calm part, so no storms or anything, with a larger vessel relatively close by. You never know which vessel. And you also do not know if this vessel has people who are friendly towards you. You don't know. It could be pirates. You don't know. And you're just sitting there in your little boat and you're like, oh, pirates. Oh shit, we're going the other way again. Back to the village. We're gonna try a different ship. Which they can do. Yeah. Yeah, I think Island of Water is kind of interesting. I'm putting an ear on islands. Actually, an ear or an eye? Actually, an eye. Yeah, eye. Because on the elemental plane of water can be an orb in the middle of the lake, could be a tear from the eye. It's a tear of God, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, I think we do the eye there. And we think of more islands. Much more islands. Many more islands. I need hundreds of islands. These are just 2 of them. So, yeah. Think of more. So I do like the summer things. Where we have the travelers who explore and get to new islands. I have the merchants who make little merchant nomadic groups between islands to sell their wares and get their wares and stuff. That's what they do. Then you have the summoners who are on certain islands and they have the role of crafters and they summon from different dimensions. Once again, they summon the items from there. That might even be food. I might even do without any farmers and only have summoners. Now there's no summoning school, so I still have to think of a way to learn. That's the thing we need to find out. How do people learn things? I got away with crafters, so that's done, but how do we get summoners? Is that a talent you will get bored with? Is that something only summoners as a different inhabitants group can learn? The traveler can never learn to summon, maybe? I mean, I put them as a different inhabitants, and not as a part of a group, so I think they're a different group altogether. Maybe traditions? Maybe carefully guarded secrets, where some kind of families have specific ways to write down the magic circle, which are really hard to make, etc. Or specific high quality magic circles, which give them better advantages. Better magic circles, or more higher quality. Oh, and that summon more high quality might be interesting for the players who go to. I need a specific sword summoned by this group of summoners because they can summon higher quality gear, for example. That's how I can make quality gear or something. Now they summon it from somewhere. So the funny part about this is summon their stuff from somewhere. Their food, the items, their gear, everything is summoned. So somewhere there must be a plane where they're continuously getting robbed of the items. I just made a new sword, I put it down there, I turned around, it's gone again. You know? That would be interesting. That would be really fun. I like that idea. Maybe there is a yes. Maybe some people will know about this. Let's see. There is one very unhappy plane where craft items keep disappearing. we can think of things to work that in. It's known here or there that it exists, and how this happens. What are the reactions? Because now we made a parasitic plane. We parasitize upon another plane. The problem is then that the other plane doesn't want to be parasitized upon, but this plane can't stop parasitizing because they can't craft anything because they don't have crafters. Ooh, we got a pretty good conundrum here. Oh yes, I like this one. We got an ethics problem here. Everyone will die because we don't craft items, or we keep stealing their shit, but then we have to keep stealing someone else's shit. Ah. Would also be a existential crisis for the other plane. Oh, yeah, I like this. I like this. So we worked around how we gonna do with craft items, maybe even food. I don't know, do food this way. I think we should do food this way. It's just fun to have everything brought in by summoners. So we got these villages, right? These travelers, they're villagers. They are in their villages. So they were travelers. They settled down to have children and stuff. So what do they do all day? If they can't craft things, they can't summon things. What would they do? Maybe they are the teachers as well, because they're the travelers. They've seen many things normally, so they should have had the most experience to see different things and learn from different corners of the plane. So they might be teachers, but to whom then? Who are they teaching? Well, they're filling the day with something, and since they can't do farming, because maybe we let them do farming. They can't craft things then. How do their houses get where they are if they can't craft the brick? They have to buy all the bricks from summoners who summon bricks. Or do they summon entire houses, maybe? Fishing! And every RPG, you can put your rod for fishing. Yes. Fishing is an option. I mean, depending if your island has I assume every island they settle on will have some running water source. Doesn't mean they have a fishing place, but yeah, fishing is an option. Yeah, fishing is an option, but only fishing is kind of boring, right? I mean, fishing with a rod is fine all, but if your entire village is always on the same little tiny bit of water on your entire island, and just have all the rods there, and they're all like, I'm gonna fish again. Yeah. And it means they are not really self-sufficient if they can't do anything themselves, so maybe you can do any fishing and hunting on the islands, maybe? The hunter-gatherers. Yeah, I think the adults will be the right adults will become hunter-gatherers. That would work, and keep them busy without having to farm. Now that does mean that if you are hunter-gatherer, it means you have to keep traveling over the island itself. So you can't then have a specific place where you live. Because if you're a hunter, hunting grounds need to be changed, else you hunt, you kill every deer in the island. And if you're a gatherer, there's only so many raspberry bushes until you got them all, then they don't reproduce anymore. I need to think about this, but fishing is an option. Fishing is an option. Well, as I read a bit about programming games, most things need a purpose to give the feel of being useful, like fishing. So you need to cooking or crafting something with it. Otherwise, none will do it. None will do it or ask what the heck is fishing for. Indeed, there must also be a reason for why we do X to get reward Y. That's all. You also always you want something for. So there must be a reward. How about the summoners also need to do something in their off time, right? This is their work. They have a lot of work to do to summon things, but they cannot summon books. They cannot summon written books. They can summon paper, and they can make books, but they cannot make. They make empty books, cannot summon written books, and then we have here the travelers. Can write books. So a whole islands, plenty of them, of writers. Extreme literature in this place. They're all brilliant. Oh no. Oh shit. I kind of have to force it on my players to have expertise in writing. They just get it, I think. I think they always get expertise in writing. Yes. I see your massive roadmap. I should write this kind of thing for my idea. Now it's all in my head. Exactly. I mean, this is what I've just written today. What I thought of this morning while doing my work. This is just the beginning. Just the rough edges is what this is. So yeah. Also, this idea, you probably don't know Dutch. You don't know Dutch, but it's all from it's all idea I had while I was half dreaming. Can't play it for long. I can play it all actually, I think. It's all from this song here, Vulgaris Magistralis by Rudy M, which is hilarious. Let's see if we can. I mean, I shouldn't play it to you, but I will play a few seconds of it. Don't think it monetized anyway. Let's see. Where is it? The music for this thing can turn off for a sec, and then we turn this one on. Do I have it set up for that? I don't think I do. Let's see. Source is there. How do I get the audio in again? I don't know. But this guy is just a guy singing about a historical figure, apparently, which I don't think exists. Who is a guy that is living in the wilderness somewhere, and he's riding around on his mammoth. That's the whole story. I mean, he also drinks a lot and he hunts, and basically that is my god. There's not much to it, but it's hilarious, I think, to make him into a true god. And because in my world he's the only god ever, so he's feeling lonely. So this world is his dream. He is dreaming. The dream is the god is dreaming here, and he is Vulgaris Magistralis, and he's an animalistic hunter god riding mammoth. Wodan. We call the mammoth Wodan because I think it's just a cool god name from older, which just fits for a mammoth, I think. And he wears mostly pelts and a wolf head with pelt over his back. He uses axes, and he's a hunter, fighter, gatherer, caveman kind of guy. But he's alone, completely alone. There's no other gods, there's no one else. So he wants to make some friends. He's bored. He wants to make some friends. So he's dreaming of making friends. That's the whole goal of the dream, make friends. And the party is going to be the friends. The problem is, however, the party members are weak. They're puny, but they're weak. And he is infinite. He is the freaking god of everything. He is the god of existence. He made everything, everywhere. It's just a dream of his. If you see a part of his body on an island, for example, I told about this, then that part of the body will be infinitely big. So it will fit on the island, but as soon as you start focusing on it, you start going crazy because it won't fit. It does not work that way. It's impossible. All kind of negative effects to you. You get psychic damage and stuff like that because you cannot even properly look at him because it just doesn't. It's just too big. You can't comprehend it. So the part is to become strong enough to become his friend. That's the idea. To become his friends. And to do that, he needs to send them on a trip to get strength, to get some challenges done, to become stronger, so they can become his friends. So there's no world-changing, evil thing waiting for them. It's just for them to become stronger and strong enough so they can have a proper conversation and a good pint with this guy who feels alone. That's the whole idea behind this, which I think is... There's no evil nonsense there. There's no big, scary thing there. There will be scary things in the story, of course, but there is no big, bad, evil guy. They don't exist. There's only one big, lonely guy who wants some people to talk to and have a fun time with. And which I think is really cool. I think that's not something you hear a lot. Mostly it's defeat Demon Lords number 537 with random quirk what 10 million others already had, which is boring. But this is a reason for this world to exist. A reason why this party exists, because he dreamed them up. And the reason why they come together is because they're the travelers and have to travel. That's a point. They have to travel. It's how the culture is, and they explore, find things, and become stronger. And at level X or something, they actually be able to interact with the god. They can probably see him from the corner of their eyes. Sometimes like, hey, I recognize that guy. But they can't really focus on him without taking any psychic damage, which I think is really cool. So that's the idea I had this morning. I was like, yeah, that's just a cool idea. So let's put it in the music again. There we go. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. I need to make a lot more details in this. I need to make many more islands. I mean, this is just 2 islands. I mean, this is the first island, of course. And this is the second island. So I want to show islands with the elemental planes. It's kind of fun. The water island is cool because if the players want to, they can go from the regular plane with the floating islands towards the actual plane of water and stay there if you want to. Sorry. So they can take the whole campaign and just railroad it away from what I planned, which is possible. So I have to make the plane of water as well, at least in part, so I can play the first few episodes, then start working hard to make it into proper campaign. But yeah, I think it's cool. And if they want to play water creatures, that's possible. They can actually become a creature of the water. Just no half-breeds. I don't like crossbreeding. I don't like it. Half ogres, half elves, half whatever's. No. Specific, separate species, they do not intermingle. No. That's my biology speak. Oh well. I'll wait. We have an ad in progress. Let's wait. Ads are happening. I need to make the ads screen thingy. I need to make that thing. We shall wait. And I give my voice a bit of rest because I've been pretty excited here. It's not good for my voice. Grab some water. So we got the general premise. Also, one is in the middle. Can it be in the middle? Good enough. Good enough. Save it so that it gets you. What a campaign. What an idea for a campaign. I think it's pretty cool. I'd like to put some more RimWorld maybe. Maybe some more weird wackiness with physics. Hello, how you doing, man? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing good. Waiting for the ads to be done. And the ads are over. Welcome back. Welcome back. I tried to wait for ads. I need to make one of those ad pop-ups to just break ads nonsense here. So we wait for those. Yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting premise for now. Now I have to, of course, get a lot more details in. A lot more details. But what about the big picture? So we have our god, who has a reason why this world exists. We have a theme, a RimWorld in one piece, between there. We have a design with a floating island design, with the god's face broken up. Parts of the god's face on it. I'm going to travel. I think we have to advise the traveling thing. So I think we should have a mix of all of these. How can we travel between islands? They're floating islands, right? We could do the very basic. Yes, you have just a normal boat with a balloon attached to it and called the flying boat. It's boring. It's done 10 million times. We could also have an animal. Basically everyone needs an appa, something like that. We could do teleporters, but it basically gets rid of all the exploration, because how do you explore if there's teleports all over? Who put them there? You know, it's kind of. I want to travel to also be fun, not just teleporters. So I don't want to do teleports. I think we scrap teleports. I don't like these. These are not fun. We could use natural phenomena for travel, but how would they get there? Maybe some kind of air current that blows to a different island or something. It's, what was it, Legend of Zelda? I think Legend of Zelda kind of ish. Kind of platformery. Are there other ways to travel around in the air? Maybe they all have to be flying races? Only flying races? But then what's the point of islands, right? Because they all can travel. The point of islands is that they can actually, they're contained communities, which cannot easily travel. That's the whole point. So making them all flying races means they are not confined to these islands, so yeah. We need to think of a good transportation system. Oh, by the way, Kemploy, you were talking about a game, right? The program of games. There is this. You've probably already seen it. From Fall. This is what I used. He's streaming right now, but that's fine. There he is. Hello, Thor. There's Thor. Yeah, there's Thor. Yeah, he's doing his thing. But it's developers games from Fall, part of over here, and this is all about making a game. Now I started doing this for my own game, which is still a long way from doing anything. But let's see. You can find here all things skills required. You didn't need any skills. So if you have no skills, you can start making a game. So that's good for me. That's very good for me. And there's all kind of ideas of what you can think about, but there is a thing for financing, marketing. Where is the? There is a design document somewhere here. Picking a team, tools, engine, art programs, audio, financing, streaming. Where is the? There is a. What kind of game should I make? Games. There it is. Game design document. Bam. There it is. There we go. This is an example. You can pick this example, take out all the things that are not yours, and make them yours. So you need a game summary pitch. That's your thing. What is your inspiration? Okay, this is more inspiration. What is the player experience going to be? Get rid of all the stuff in there. Use as an example to say, hey, this kind of stuff to put in there, and put in your own stuff. And this is what you keep around. You want to be able to play this game on a PC, for example, or whatever. What kind of software do you need? What genre will it be, etc. What is your target audience? Make all these things. Make this thing first. And other things you'll fill in later, like the art, you'll fill in later, of course. Maybe you said in PixArt, maybe something like that. And just make a thing like this. Make a game design document. This is an official one. And of course, you need a plan. You need planning for the minimum viable products. And make one of these, Kemploy. Just work on this. I got one myself from my game, which is way over date, of course, but it exists. And yeah, this is how you start with your design documents. And this was, I think, the winner of the Pirate Software Game Jam 2022. I think these were the winners. Yeah, so here's what you can find, and it's develop.games. You can find this on. And actually, I should just this here for you. It's easier. Put it in chat for you. There it is, and also for the other chat. There you can find a game design document, which you can use as a template. And this is develop.games from Pirate Software. Great guy. And that will help you out also with just making your game, thinking how to monetize it, where to program it, etc, etc. There you go. There you can find all the tools you need to make your own game. And you need 0 skills. You learn them on the job. Yes. And then you can post in DC as I'm here at work. Discord, sure, I'll put it there for you. I have you on Discord anyway. Where are you? Mr. Kemploy. Where are you? Kemploy. He's gone. He's disappeared. Wait, I think I have you as a private message, right? Somewhere. Probably. Somewhere. I have too many. This is you. I don't think it's you. I can't see it. I can't see it. Parts of these are just, the names are dotted because I'm in actually stream mode. I don't care about stream mode here. Because you can't see it anyway. It's on the other screen. Yeah! Where's Kemploy? Kemploy! Looking for you, Kemploy. I will find you. There you are. Hello, Kemploy. There you go. Developers games. Bam. There it is. In your Discords when you get home. Perfect. Yeah, that's for game design. If you want to do that, I advise going there. Really good, really cool. One with the yellow-black profile pic. Yeah, I found it. I have found it. No worries, mate. I've used it for my game as well, which I still need to work on. I've been lazy. I've been lazy. So, but the problem of travel. I never knew you made games. You use Godot, Unity Unreal? I use Godot. I use Godot because it's free. I'm cheap because I don't have money. That's why. But also Game Maker. I just don't use Game Maker at the moment because Game Maker costs money. For I think $100 or something to start working with it. I mean, you can work with it, but you cannot put it on Steam if you made it. So I want to make something I can work on slowly over time. And if it's good enough, and I can save up the $100 to put on Steam, I want to instantly put it on Steam and see if anyone wants to play it. But that will take a long time, because I haven't done anything in a while for that. I need to work on it again. I need to, yes. I used to use Godot. Okay, you now do Unity, I guess then? I mean, grab the game program that works for your game. It doesn't matter what engine you use or whatever you use. It only matters in what you need for your game itself. For example, there is this engine thing, and people think, what is the best engine? What's the best language? They don't exist. There is no best. There's only what do you want to be able to do. Do you want to make a platformer or 3D? Then look for a language that can, or an engine that can do either one of those, and then see, hey, I want these kind of features. Then you need this engine can do that, and you select down till you find the engine. This is the engine you use because it has all the features you want. Yes, for my reason too. And Unity got some bad press last week, so I don't want it. Yeah, Unity has done some weird things with their monetization. It's kind of I'm not really trusting it myself, so I don't want to do it because I don't want to have any kind of payments retroactively pushed upon me because I'm successful or something. I don't want that. I just want to know what I pay, and I pay that, and it's done. That's what I want. So yeah, a license for $99 for maybe gamer, perhaps not finishes too much. For me too. For me, it's a hobby thing, just a funsies, and if it gets good, cool. That's what needs to learn. I started doing that. I'm not good at it yet because I didn't do much yet, but I got some game masters already. Let's see what I have. I made a little bit. Not much. I got a box to move. We got that. Actually, a sheep to move. I don't think it works anymore because I don't know how to make it work at the moment. Actually, I might. I have to start up then. I forgot the code, of course, to do it. So probably it might crash my PC. We never know because my PC is old. It's very old. I'm gonna get in trouble, by the way, in October when they're gonna change everything up. So you have to play. You cannot use anything but Windows 11 anymore because my PC can't handle that. There's Godot. Hello, Godot. It's been a long time since I started you up. There we go. Interwebs back. This one and that one, so I can see you. Sheeps and wolves. There we go. Okay. I think there should be more than this. It's probably still loading. It's been a long time, so yeah, it's starting good. I don't know the combinations, but there was a way to show off your game. There we go. Here is my basic character, player. How did you already do a little play test? There was a way to test this out. I forgot how to do that. It's been a while. Seeing debug editor, help. I got my grasslands in there. Oh, not yet. I haven't made them yet. I made the backgrounds. I know that. Still to think of how to do it. Export. How do you test game quickly? I think you could do that somewhere. I forgot where to do that. I saw an engine who charge you for a license after you finished your game. That's kind of nice of them. That works. Right top corner? Is that it? Your main screen seems to have been fine. Select one. You can change it later. Select. That's probably not working. That's probably not the one. Is working. I made sure it was play with WASD, and then you have a sheep moving. Let's see. Oh yeah, it moves. There it goes. That's what I did. I made the box move, and made the sheep actually has movement with the legs, and actually goes in. You see the head going left and right, and we have a different animation for up and down, left and right. And I actually make sure that if you move diagonally, you don't move with double speed. So this is what I've made so far. It's not much, but it's my first game ever. So I made the box move, and I made the box look fancy. And I have all kind of arts made for the backgrounds and stuff. I still don't know how to put in backgrounds. I still could learn that. But this is how far my game is at the moment. And then I have to find a way to make a background here. I got backgrounds, which are... don't know how to make these work yet. I got them made, and then they are supposed to be backgrounds. And I want to roll from right to left, and you're running over the field basically. So that's the point. You're basically the world moves past you, and you have to keep up, else you get pushed back. So you have to make sure you get pushed back if you stand stationary, push back with the background. And rules are following you, and you have to dodge all kind of blockades. I do like the size. The size is pretty good for the screen, I think. Sheep is not too big for it. And I've made all the wolves already, to make the art for them. I've made the backgrounds. I still have to find out how to make the wolves appear and do the thing. And I have to find out how to get the background in. I'd love to show the background, but I haven't got that far yet. We made to mix them all into one scene. Indeed, I just haven't found out how to yet. I haven't gone that far. I've had it fun making a lot of art. I got all the art ready. I haven't found out how to combine it yet. That's the thing. Also, I haven't found out a good name of it. Arts. Sheep, wolf run. We got wolves. This is the wolves. This is the wolf art. Of course, it will be scaled out to the same size as the sheep is. Slightly bigger than sheep is. Here's my wolf art. And now my backgrounds I haven't found yet. I know I have them somewhere. I forgot where. Let's see. Kids games, YouTube tutorial. I forgot where I put them. I have them somewhere. Panels, no. That's just not there. I know I have them somewhere. They do exist in some point. But this is actually the save itself. Sheep and wolves. Art player phase 1. Oh, there it is. No, that's just TSCM. Doesn't work. That's already in the game. Where did I put my... And now I wonder where I put my backgrounds. Because I know I made them. Put a lot of work into them actually. Where would they be? Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Got stream gifts. I still got Kitakami moments for when I played World of Warships. Kitakami moments, yes, I got it all together for a video which I never made. I probably will have to remake a lot of things. Empty background. That's an empty background, yes, very interesting. Icon. Description. I forgot where I put them. Which is damn sure. Maybe in the game creation somewhere. I think I have somewhere. It's not there. I forgot where. I need to find my backgrounds again. But at the moment, this is what I've made myself, which I'm pretty proud of. The rest I still have to put in to make it do a complete thing. Progress from TCN into the screen. Oh, you can do that just? Okay. Didn't know you could just drag it in there. That's right. Let's see. Tower attack. Godot. No, that's not Godot. It needs sheep wolves. And then art. And you have birds wolves. Phase 1. There we go. Cross onto TCN. I drag it in there. See what happens. On the Godot. I just drag it in here. Does it think of this? What do we have to do it here? Initiating scene from Grassland 1. It might not have the file ready for it, I guess, then. Because I can't find the file myself, so it might not have the file. But if, I got the wheat fields done, I got the paths done, the village I had done. Stop playing. Yes, okay. Be gone debug. There it is, it's gone. And now try that. Doesn't change anything. Maybe it's over here. This grasslands. It needs to be there. I need to find my my files themselves, which might be a different. It's not there. Try 2A. The wheat fields, you mean? Okay. Oh, now got here. You see, it copied this. Got the village here. You got these points here, which are the grasslands and stuff, but they should be backgrounds. What is a point? What I do have is all these here, these PNGs here about the wolf rests and the wolf base and the sheep walk, sheep base and stuff. I got those all in here. These are actually PNGs. So I might not have PNGs in here yet for the backgrounds. Because there's an actual PNG, as you can see right here. That's my wolf. Yeah, I kind of lost where I left it, which is a problem because I put a lot of work into them. Sometimes you make projects and you forget about how much, where you put everything. The hell's achievements? Oh, that's the views. So what's that? Probably not something we can find back. Maybe there's in files. No, there's only close. Not what I need. Click on one of the selector and press F. One of these here. Now focus on it, I think. Script empty. Add metadata. Probably have to put in the. Or to put something in there, I guess. As I said, it's been months, man. I don't think I have it here. I need to look it up because I put a lot of work into them, but I forgot where I put them, which is stupid and dumb. My fault. My files are a mess. My files are a mess. Anyway. Zoom in. You can zoom in. How do you zoom in? Oh, that way. Remains a dot. Oh wait. Yeah, there remains a dot. It's maybe very small. Yeah, that is an option. It might also simply not be implemented right though. So I think it's simply not implemented yet. I just put in the idea that I want to have a grassland and a wheat field stuff in there. The phases. But I haven't filled them in yet. Maybe it's simply there's no art behind them yet. That the art is still hidden in one of my files, which I really need to find. But it's fine. But I got at least a moving sheep, I guess. These I'll delete since I don't delete node wheat field. Yeah, it's gonna be deleted from here. So village is not supposed to have these fields here. Village is different phase. Well. That should be this one, village.tcn. That should be in the village. That should be there then? I don't know. I have to find it somehow. But yeah, my game is pretty simple because I don't have much of it. It's just my moving sheep so far, which is not a lot. That's how far I've got. And I have to find all the stuff and make it. At some point I'll make more of this because it was really fun to do. But yeah, I'm glad that I made the box move. That's the most important thing to me. And I think going diagonally, yeah, I should use the long legs, right? Because we're going pretty fast. The points that we're trying to look like it fast, and maybe I have to go slower up and down. Because now we're going all the same speed, and it seems like the running one is slower up and down, right? So I might want to slow them up and down a bit. To make it feel a bit more like you're running forward. You're not running up, you can't run up. You can only, well, you know, slowly go up. But I'll have to think of that. But that's, yeah, that's what I've been doing with my Godot, which is, I need to do more of that. I really need to. Anyways, there we go. But that was not what we're doing here. Today at least. We're brainstorming on this stuff here. Yes. So we were thinking about how to travel around. That was the point. How we're gonna travel. I can't do the flying boats. I mean, I think it's a bit cliche stuff, but it does work. It allows for people to make their own roads, because the point with teleporters is, and the point with all bus-like traffic, where you have to wait for someone to bring you somewhere, is that it's already explored. And the whole thing about these travelers is that they explore things. So they must have to fly to different unknown locations. So there cannot be a teleporter there. There cannot be a stop sign for a bus, because there's not exploration. That's just, there's a bus there. There's no exploration involved there, you know? So what would be a cool way to go around without pushing them all into a flying species, which kind of, I mean, they could be all flying species. What makes down as a flying species? I mean, it means that everyone needs to be a flying species of the travelers, travelers. Flying, of course, makes combat more difficult, but if the enemies also fly, it's also interesting. So might not be a problem there. I mean, it could all be Orococra. It could be. That limits the players on their choices, because someone might really want to be a dwarf or an elf. How the hell do you fly those around? If you go work demands me, work demands you, employee. You are necessary. You're needed. People need you. Go and help them. Go and help the poor people who need you. You're too important. Hey dude, thanks for being here. Hope you have a great rest of your day and see you later, man. Flying species is an option, but it's kind of shoehorning the players. I don't want to shoehorn the players too much. I wanted to have freedom. The whole point of floating islands, in my opinion, is freedom to go wherever the hell you want. There's a small island that no one knows about. We're going there. It's a rock of 4 square meters, you know, on top of the rock. Enjoy the rock. I mean, if they want to, they can. But yeah. Also, should you be able to tow around islands? That you move the islands? Do the islands move themselves? Maybe they do. Some kind of planetary ring effect, where they're all traveling the same direction roughly, but some can collide on occasion. Maybe. But still, travel. Make the islands close together and give them all of those bow guns with a rope attached to it. And they're all strong enough to carry themselves on that bow gun, even if they have heavy armor. Because reasons. Could be interesting though. Could be interesting. But that would mean mostly climbing then. Because if you use your bow gun for something that's higher up, you have to climb up. So they'll then have to be good at climbing. And if they fall off the climbing thing, well, that's infinite sky, so yikes, right? Also fall damage is a thing. I think that's a bit too risky to do whole climbing every rock, because that means they can't travel too far. I wanted to be able to travel far and see many islands, and many different ones, and some will be special, like the Water Island, some will not be special. Some will not have inhabitants, some will. There will be monsters, of course. Flying ones sometimes. And maybe this plane itself could be set between the plane of air and the plane of earth. Could be that the sandwich is an intermediate area. That's why the Earth is floating, because there's infinite air, but there's also air. There's also a place where you can get to the plane of Earth from here. There's basically a between area where you have what do you call it? You have the plane of Earth. And you have then you have the rocks, all for face guy, and then air. Of course, there's only one layer thick, could be many layers thick, but here's an option. Here's an option. But it's still sidetracking. I need transport. I mean, the boat thing is simple and boring, but it is functional. That's why it's simple and boring, right? It's cliche, but it is also used by a lot because it is so functional. It's cliche, but should we use it? I mean, the whole idea of floating around on a boat is cool. I don't want the players to fly around with their own private base. That's the thing, because that's really, really powerful. And then I get NPCs and fill the base up. Basically get no reason to move or settle anywhere. I want to have a reason to settle, because if you have a super enormous ship with merchants on board and in this case summoners on board and stuff like that, you don't need an island. And that kind of defeats the purpose of having islands. Maybe airships can only be sloop sized. Oh, with ads, with ads. At time. Hold on a minute. Actually, I'm going for a quick bathroom break while the ads are running. The ads are running. Should make an ass thing. So give me a second, I'll be right back after the ads. Yeah, I'll probably be earlier. The ads are not that long. Give me a second. Good. The ads are good. The ads are good. Good. Be gone, ads. Be gone. Oh, I found out I didn't set up my buttons correctly. I really thought I did, but apparently not. So my button for my camera is not set up to my button of my mute, which I need to set up now because sometimes I need to sniffle and stuff. And you don't need to see that, but this doesn't look good. Let's see, hotkeys. Camera. That is D&D. There we go. And inserts and inserts. Right. Now, I press this button. I disappeared, as I should. Good. Sometimes you just disappear, chat. Sometimes needs to. So, let's see. This is just hypothetical for now. Not sure if we keep this. We might not. We might not. Also, this looks like one of the planets, so it's fine. I think if we use, I'll put this to the side for now. Chat, you can think about this. It is now yours. I'll give it to you. Enjoy it. It's now yours. Anyways, we could do a thing. We have a little that we grab that. We delete that. Strap here, and we have ourselves a boat. Kind of. Yeah, good enough. One boat. And we could say, for example, that a boat to fly, it probably has wings of some kind. It can only fit 3 people. Then the boat is full, and then you can't fly with more people. To keep the boat small, boats can't fly either. Preview max als boats can't fly. To make sure we keep the boats small and they don't fly around with entire castles and stuff. Because I know my DMers, I know my DDers, they want to fly entire castles around if they can. I mean, I tried to do it once, so yeah. It was slightly OP. Slightly OP. It was fun though. With a flying boat indeed to travel us around the place, and we equipped it with cannons. And instructed all the cannons. There were animatrons, something like that. Would give them all wands of magic missile, and we had an army of magic missile wands flying around the ship, all the roads, which I was an artificer to make those. So yes, so it's cool but very overpowered. I don't want to give that from level 1. So when you see a boat like this, weight limits? Maybe weight limits. Ooh, that would really give them a limit on what they can bring along. Yeah. That could give me a tool to make sure they cannot overburn the boat. So if you go to an island and you kill a magnificent dragon and have 10 million dragon bones, and you're going to your ship, you're like, we can't take off anymore because the dragon bones are too big. It keeps the value that they can earn a lot lower. It means I have to give them other valuable things to make sure they still feel like they get the proper reward, no? Super gems or something. But I can't just make a dragon bone sword or something. Which they can't make anyway. There's no point of getting dragon bones. You want to have evidence you killed the dragon for the one you killed the dragon. But you don't need dragon parts because we don't craft this. We have summoners. Oh. That means a lot of the loot is valueless. Which is a problem on its own. So they have to do things, get paid by a third party all the time. Because the items they get will probably not be armor or stuff like that. I also think if they summon everything in, right? Nothing is made there, everything is summoned in their parasitic plane. What happens to the cost of weapons and armor that are no longer useful? They can't repair them because they can't make them, right? I assume you can't repair them then. So at some point your armor breaks, your sword breaks, get rusty, whatever. It stops being functional. What happens with them? They have an infinite amount of air. They just drop it off the island. And then it disappears into the forever void. Yeah, that's no problem. That's no problem. Means I can't do the whole earth plane beneath here, because then you have a pile of garbage there. which would be kind of funny actually, to make another plane also angry with them. That could be funny. So they're a parasitic plane upon, I haven't even decided what plane yet, but they steal all the shit. That's what they do. They steal all the shit. And then when it's done with, they just toss it off the island. And it comes eventually on the plane of Earth, and they just have a pile of junk there. Garbage. Raining down forever. Two planes who hate their asses. That could be fun. That could be fun. Also, it seems like the YouTube chat doesn't work on the stream. I hope it works. It apparently doesn't. Why doesn't it work? You have to refresh it with the other one. How do I do that? Actually, yes, if I think I know that. That's YouTube chat, yes, so setting. Participant information, activity timestamp, reactions. How do I get the source again for my YouTube chat? And copy it in there. Because I think I need to do that. Move it around there, that's fine stuff. Oh, maybe, how do I docs there? YouTube control panels live. I see Twitch chats. I forgot how I made my YouTube chat work on my stream. Because on my OBS works, but it doesn't work on my stream, I see. Custom browser docs. Ads, Twitch chat, activity feed, that's Twitch chat again. Already got those. I need to find a URL of my YouTube. That's an interesting one. Because you can see barely see each cat's there, obviously, but you can't see him above. You can't see him over there. And that's that black thing over there. You can't even get my mouse in there, of course. That's where his text should be. So you can all read it. It's fine. I need to find out how to get that. How did I make that in the first place? It's a dock, I'm pretty sure of that. You never see me? Yes. No. I see you. I see you. It's just that the black thing over here doesn't see you over there. There's nothing there. That should be your text. Lock docs, full height docs, reset docs, custom browser docs was not in there. Scenes for dynamics controls. Chat is there. Okay, so that works. Now you're back. So how do I get the URL of a chat? I have questions. How do I do that? Oh, there's YouTube chat. Ah, there. Aha! There we go. So that should be chat then. But this one doesn't work, right? Yeah, this one doesn't work. Why don't you look? Refresh. No, doesn't do it. Interact. Okay. This button. Audio filter, effect filters I got open now. That's not what I need. I need source. I need source. So. Control audio via OBS. It's fine. Custom frame rate is fine. I need to find out how to get the right source for this. Because in my normal OBS thing, I can see the live chat from, well, this chat over there. How do I get it over there? How could you chat visible stream? real-time interaction with your viewers, stream view live chat. Click the down arrow at the top of the chat. That's just that's not during stream. Using live chat during your live stream, Premiere, Google Help. You can pin your own message, sign a YouTube profile mobile. Live poll, live Q&A. Shit in the live Q&A. I want to make it visible. Embed live chats. Betting. Get a video URL for the stream from the watch page URL. Command embed URL in the following way. So I have to actually go to the video itself then? I'm curious, I need to find it out. But that means I have to do it every single time whenever I make a new thing for that. YouTube sites. Switch account. Let's find out if we can make this work. Because I'd love to see that on the stream itself. Channel, yes. If we just simply use that, would this URL work? Maybe I don't think it would, but just assume it works. That we can see through. Something happened. Now I can't really see it, so I have to enlarge because I can't see it. We have something with a weight limit. What? Don't think that's what we want. Let's see. Let's turn this to 0.5. Okay. We've got this thing over here. Before I continue to watch YouTube, we've got the whole thing there. I'll probably have to click a thing there. Interesting. I'll have to sign in separately and stuff like that. I'm mainly see-through now. But apparently it just doesn't work, so I need to find out how to make it work later on. We'll find out later, because I think I have to put in all kind of stuff I cannot show on stream, I think. All kind of source codes and stuff. Yeah. So unfortunately I can't put you there with the other Twitch chatters, Bailey. Sorry about that. I'll try to fix it. Anyway, I do like the boat idea with 3 max people. I do like this idea of maximum 3 people. It also gives a reason why there's 3 people going on a trip together as groups of 3. They do need to get a boat. So need to have gotten a boat from a summoner somehow. How do we get this boat from a summoner? Well, must be a good summoner then, I guess. There are still some hooks. There are still some things we need to work out. But I think we're going for flying boats. We could otherwise also go for animals. A bit like Appa. Makes also for limited amount of carry capacity. You can't make gas that way either. Just to make sure it is not a combat animal. Or do I care? Why not a combat animal? Why not? I don't want it to fight the combat forward, of course, because I want them to embrace the power themselves. Why not some kind of skyfish? Seems slippery though. Pegasi feels a bit OP. You have Pegasi everywhere. I think flying boats is the best option, but then we need to get them summoned by summoners. And that makes it very difficult to think of where to summon them from, because I need a lot of these. And what other plane would need a bunch of flying boats? And I mean plenty of them. That can be parasitized away, you know? That's a pretty big ask. Natural phenomena for travel usually means a small distance travel, or determined path travel means they don't have freedom, and I want to have freedom. So I think we don't need to go for animals. Right? Since we can't create things, we won't find a plane which has the same amount or more requirements for more of those flying boats. So I think animals are our only option. I want to travel far. So it will be animals. Yes, okay, we've decided it will be animals. Which are probably only raised then. And will then only be raised by the travelers, which gives them a reason to action creatures that then will be the ones to travel with their children. They set up a farm basically. So if they have to find a mate for themselves to get children with. So to find an elf needs to find an elf, a dwarf needs to find a dwarf. But also their mounts need to be compatible. That will be difficult to find. I mean, no one said it was easy to procreate, I guess, so yeah. But think about later. Maybe they're unisex, I don't know. Maybe they're... How about aphids? Yes, I said aphids. Yes. Because aphids are stupid. Aphids are stupid. So we cross this one out. This one is a big fat red nope. It's not red. Oh, it's the wrong one. I need this one to be red. Aphids. Why aphids? Well, aphids are stupid. Because aphids reproduce by laying eggs, but also by giving live birth to their own clones. Aphids are mad, man. Aphids have a lot of things. It's not crossbreeds, that's not correct. I'll call them offspring and clones. I mean, it's not the right word, but you know. So they have both ways to procreate, to reproduce. And if I make it something like this, I mean, they don't have to look like aphids, but they act like aphids. And aphids are very fragile, at least to us, because they're tiny and stuff. I have way too many enemies. Aphids, yeah, that's also something many people think of. Aphids are awesome. really difficult. So let's go aphids. I think the aphid lifespan. And then I could make them aphids and fly them around on aphids. Just make them gargantuan. And then, well, at least huge. A large creature is twice the size of a medium creature. So a huge creature is 3 times the size. Well, no, twice. It's 4 times the size. That should fit 3 other creatures without having too much trouble, but not a lot more, I guess. Aphids, of all things. Okay, aphids. Yeah. The most gargantuan, enormous, stupidly big. Oh, we can't turn this because the wings of aphids are ridiculously big, by the way. Absolutely gargantuan. Then we have or 6 little spin legs. We have to do it differently. Let's go up and down, up and down, up and down. Yes, aphids. We're gonna fly around on aphids in my campaign, because why the fuck not? Yeah, aphids. Aphids! Make this dark. Have 2 color aphids. Bam. Yep, that's not all. I need 2 color aphids. Look at this. Oh, we already have that color. Okay, fine. per 2 color aphids. That offsets problem, because you don't need per definition to find a male and female aphid, a male and female animal you fly around on. And you can still have offspring of them, clones then, which will be per clones, which will all be female, by the way. So for aphids, there's only a rare amount of males, which only get made at the end of summer, and then they make eggs to survive the winter, which the animals themselves won't survive winter, but the eggs will, which then become the maggots or whatever version they have, and then become the full-grown aphids again. So they only have eggs in fall, and that survive the winter. Then they come out the eggs and just reproduce by cloning themselves, giving live birth as well. Yeah, aphids is the answer. It's a stupid answer, but it's my answer, yes. Aphids! Only biologists can think of this. And this will mean, we see there, this would mean we have a better chance to just find someone to make that work with. I'm not sure if we do the survive winter thing with them, because that would limit our players. But maybe they only... This might make the trap more interesting. They're going to trap for a few years or something before their aphid dies. They have to grow a new aphid, which will require another few years because it's gargantuan, or at least huge. So how do we make this work? I think, I mean, they can't just get more and more aphids. They will not reproduce as fast as real aphids do, because they reproduce really fast. So, hardy travelers send their offspring away on the trips with an aphid, which is a clone of their original aphids of the parents. And then have an egg to... No, they need an egg for their children, and then the aphid at some point will die off. And then they stay on the islands themselves. They only travel as long as the aphid is there. The problem is then that it limits my players, because then there is a timer on how fast they need to get their strength. Because if the aphid dies, and it's a tradition to stay on the island your aphid dies on, then they won't move from that point. So we can't do that. So how do we make this work? Also ads in 1 minute again. I'll try to wait for those. Itchy nose, man. Itchy nose. Yeah, aphid is my solution, definitely. Now how do we flesh that? Maybe just get a new aphid that I don't really care too much about the aphids, or are they really tied to our aphid? And if an aphid carries 3 people, which is kind of a big ass aphid, then I assume they get a bond with the aphid, because they are reliant upon it to survive. Aphids need plant material to live on, which is difficult in a campaign where there's no farming. How do you get food for your aphid? We could make them carnivorous, of course, but then they have to get food for that, so how do you feed your aphid? I think the aphid dies off. I think they settle in a certain place, certain time, and then make the aphid die off. But then you have to kill your own pet then that way, right? We're doing this for a D&D campaign. I'm trying to make a world for my D&D campaign, and to make it work and function properly. And at the moment I'm in a campaign with my friends, and we're busy for 2.5 years already with this campaign. And I'm not really someone who plays a lot of... I play D&D whenever I can, but I haven't played much as the DM, and oftentimes also one of the other three who is DM, and I think it's time that I be DM again once for a while. So I'm making a world that fits for my D&D campaign. That's what I'm doing here. And I have to make sure that the world works and does make sense, even though there's a lot of nonsense in it, because it's a god stream, so there's a lot of nonsense in it. And if I can ever put it to a game, it would be awesome, but that will be beside the point. It's just good. Basically, I'm practicing writing here. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm practicing writing here, and the idea is for a D&D campaign. It could become for anything else. Maybe the campaign will never happen, I don't know. But just to improve my writing, my world design, basically. Oh, we need to wait for ads. We have ads! We're gonna wait. Yeah, they're working on ads on Twitch right now. 1 minute 20. And sometimes it's nice to just, think of different world views and how. I mean, you can make a game, or you can make a D&D campaign or whatever, but you need to make sure the world works most of the time. Not always. There's games you don't need a world for, but in a D&D campaign where people need to travel around, the world needs to work. There must be some logical sense in it. Especially if your D&D players are smart, and all three of them are smarter than I am, so yes, needs to be good. And also because I think it's fun to make a story. I read a lot of books and I just love stories. I played off Elder Scrolls Online because I love the stories so much, stuff like that. I like stories, I like writing. Well, I like thinking of stories. And I'm trying to get better at writing this way. So, yeah, that's my motivation. And I just felt like it. This morning I woke up at, I was starting work at 4 o'clock. And I just got this idea in my head and was like, this is something I should write down, because it could be useful for a D&D campaign or something. And they're back. Welcome back, guys. You didn't miss much. You didn't miss much. I basically paused for you. Yeah, Belly asked me for my motivation why I'm doing this, and I'm doing this for 3 reasons. 1, I feel like it. That's 1. 2, it helps me practice my writing skills, because I like stories a lot. 3, it helps me make a D&D campaign which I might use for my friends. And my friends are pretty smart, and I think if you make the world where people have to play in, that needs to be the world needs to make sense. So yeah, I want to make the world make sense in some way. And then, of course, we're gonna fill in all the little details later. But I want to have the broad strokes here. This is the broad stroke phase. And you put in ideas that no one would ever think of. I mean, who the hell would think of going into a floating island D&D campaign while your main form of transport is aphids? I don't think many people think of that. Biology for the win. Yes. And aphids are interesting. They're really interesting, because they have so many things going on, man. Anyway, we found out how people get around. It's gonna be aphids. I think people will be tied or emotionally tied to their animal. So we'll need to get a name. It will need to get a personality or something. Or maybe not, maybe they're really boring and dull. And they still get a name, but they're really dumb. That is possible. That means we need someone with a writing skill. And animal and stuff will be interesting. Else you go to the wrong island because he thought that's better food over there. Or do you even write them? I mean, you can sit on top of them, but they just fly themselves to a random island. You have no choice. But that gets choice away from the player. I want the players to have choice. So no, they have to write. They have to control the animals somehow. Now, but how is the aphids getting food? I know. This is fantasy nonsense, so why the hell not? The aphids here, in this case, we give them water and sunlight. You know why, right? You know why, right? We give them chloroplasts. We give them the ability to make food out of sunlight with carbon dioxide and water. The same thing plants get. Photosynthesis. Which means you don't have to worry about the food for the animal. That food is just being in the sun. Which is great. They need water, of course. And does mean it will be they will be sticky bastards. Because there's continuously water need to evaporate. If you go plant design, they use a lot of water. Actually, it doesn't need to, because plants use where we use a heart as a pump to pump our blood around. Most insects use the expansion and contraction of the whole abdomen, which is for tiny animals possible. For big aphids not, but fancy is fine. So we don't need the water pressure that trees use. Trees evaporate water from the leaves, which flies away and creates a lower pressure area inside their veins, which pulls up the water from below. That's how trees get the water so high. Also a little bit of root pressure, but mostly it is pulled from the top because they have under pressure over there. But aphids don't need that. They can just expand and contract their abdomen all the time. So that means they don't have to continuously evaporate water, so therefore they don't have to be wet and disgusting. When they're still aphids, but you know, they don't have to be wet all the time. Yeah. I think aphids is a genius move. So we got more getting around problem solving aphids. I have to think of when they make eggs, if they ever make eggs. They can asexually reproduce. They don't survive winter. Maybe for winter they have to settle down on islands and sit there for a season or something, or for an amount of time. It gives them the downtime experience. Forced downtime, but yeah. I mean, downtime needs to be forced at some point. They need to work on things, they need to learn things. Now, I still haven't solved the problem of learning things. I think traveling around will teach them things, and they are the travelers, so they are the teachers, because they are the ones who can write books. Because they have things to write about, which the summoners can't really. They don't really have enough ideas, I guess. Which is weird. The summoner can't think of ideas, but yeah. I need to think about that, if that's a good choice. That might not be a good choice to give them the books and the spooks are unsummonable. Yeah, we need to think about that. I'm not sure of this. This might need some changing. But aphids, I think that's pretty genius. Okay, we found our mounts. We got our nation's makeup. The villages, mostly villages. It's rare to find a city. Maybe there is only 2 cities. I'm not going to go for any armies. It's a pretty idealistic world where there is no nation. There is no concept of nation. They all speak a similar language. With travelers, with merchants, with summoners. Do we need anything else? The travelers spread around, raise aphids. I think I have to put that on the exploratory. They raise the aphids, that's their specialty. It gives them something to do in their off time, to train aphids for the next generation of travelers. Aphids will easily die then, I guess, to make sure they have a lot of work to do. So they must be really stupid, which is fun to play. Yeah, that's fun to play. Immersive solitary caravans, fixed routes, localize temporary fares. The merchants have things to do. They keep traveling around, keep selling and buying, and they have fairs to go to. They have enough to do, so that's fine. The empty book things. I don't want them to summon correct books. Got some written books. Written books / works. This is so they don't get polluted by the culture from somewhere else. They cannot summon those things. But that also means that there's a mystery of what plane they get their stuff from. Because they do not know. There's nothing written on it that makes obvious, hey, it's this plane we're stealing shit from. The role of crafters. There's one very unhappy plane where craft items keep disappearing. Yes. It will be very interesting for kind of confrontation stuff. Do travelers need something else? They travel around in their young years, and they found someone to settle down with. They found a place to settle down with. Could be a established village, or could be a village they settle themselves. They use their time to breed more aphids. They don't need to do any farming, because farm stuff is also being summoned, fully summoned. They can probably hunt a bit, but mostly it's summoned by the summoners. This is a very parasitic, plane, which I think is really fun actually. Yeah, I like that. I think the basic rough sketches with this is done. Let's save it, so don't forget. Now Bulgarians will show up, so we can have, because we have merchants, we can have inns and stuff in places. That could be a traveler putting up an inn at some places. That is fine. There can be normal. There can be normal vocations. There cannot be crafters. Those are all summoners. Summoners are not really combative, I think. They are very secretive. They're conniving politicians, basically, because we want to keep their secret, but we want to find out what the other one knows, you know? They're kind of spying between each other, so that's where the whole spy thing comes in. If you want to play into that. That's the summoners, then. And the merchants also a bit, because we want to keep secret who is their summoner, who summons the specific things that they have as specialties to sell. So there's a little bit of conniving there as well. That's good. It's not much conniving within the travelers themselves, but do we need that? I don't think so. I think they're just the breeders who want to breed the best aphids for the travels, and they might get some kind of competitions about who has the best aphid, and then they set off the right to mate with the aphid, stuff like that. Maybe. Just like they have breeding contests for bulls and horses and stuff like that, you know? Yeah, I think this is pretty decent makeup. I think this works. Have we missed anything? Let's see. So we've got the world with the whole reason why the world exists. It has a theme. It has a design. We have islands, we have inhabitants. I need to make more islands. We have reasons why these inhabitants exist, how the inhabitants work. It will be all mostly small villages, nothing huge. Maybe isolated people, some places. Infinite islands. We got the whole god thing in there. No church and stuff, because it's a god who's dreaming, so there is no. This one doesn't believe in church and stuff, no organized religion. I think we're pretty good here. Hey Mr. Hey dude, how do, man? Mr. I require your brain. And cheers, man. I require your brain, sir. I need you to find the flaws. We've been writing a D&D campaign. Or basically we've been writing the world for the D&D campaign. The campaign has to be written still. But the basic of how the world works. It's of course a fantasy world, obviously. I'm going to read you some information. And I want to know from you what you think is wrong with it. We saw the assembly. I did enjoy it. Yes, I do intend to play this week. But I had an idea this morning. I was like, I need to play. I need to write this down because else I'll forget. So that's why I'm doing this at the moment. So we got this world we made for our players, right? It's called the Dream of a God. I need to think of a better name because it's kind of on the nose. I don't want them to know this is Dream of God, so we need to find a better way. So there's a god who's dreaming. This world is dreamt by a god. It's an animalistic hunter god called Vulgaris Magistralis, and he rides a mammoth. He's kind of a hunter-gatherer god. He is a caveman kind of guy, and he's alone. He's the only god there is. He's alone, and he's dreaming. And his dream goal is to make friends. This whole world exists for him to make friends. The problem is, he is a god. He is the god. He is infinite in size and infinite in everything. So, other creatures, even the ones he dreams of, are not strong enough to handle even seeing him. They can't. They get psychic damage if they see him. So, he is often around because he's trying to make friends and trying to become friends with adventurers. But he can't interact with them because they will die if he does. So Core of Eye can be seen sometimes, never up close. They can see him, but as soon as they pay attention to him, they start getting problems. The theme is a mix between RimWorld and One Piece. So we got lots of islands, lots of little things happening on different places. It's a Sky Island world. And physics are wonky. Physics are not normal. They're weird. So the design, it's the god's face broken up over time, floating in infinite sky. So it is the face of Vulgaris himself, who's broken up and became all these little islands, infinite islands. And you might recognize some parts of his face. Now, the islands have parts of the god's face on it. The god parts fit on the islands. If you look at the cursory glance, it just fits. It's just a mountain or just a big rock or something. But if you have some scrutiny, you'll notice they are infinite sized. You get psychic damage for that. So you see, for example, a thing that rock over there. It resembles a bit of a nostril, right? And then you look closer, like, but that is a nostril. It's actually air going from, and that's actually an active nostril. But that's too big. It doesn't fit. That thing doesn't fit this island. That thing's bigger than all the islands. It's bigger than the known universe, basically. And they start getting psychic damage because they can't take that. Obviously, they're too weak still. So we got these infinite islands which are made of his face, and he's actually also a character they can sometimes see a glimpse of. Maybe it's a glimpse of the future, maybe a glimpse of the past, or actually him there, but they can't interact with him or actually focus on him because then they get psychic damage. I will not tell my players this, they will have to find this out. They will just have weird glimpses, and is that looking like a nose, is it looking like an ear, and if they focus on it and roll good, they will realize what it is and get more damage. So successful rolls are a problem. Which is kind of funny. So we got a floating island idea, and the whole premise of why this world exists. Now, how do people get around? People get around on aphids. Because aphids reproduce sexually and asexually. That's what aphids do. They make eggs, but also reproduce with giving live birth. And they make clones that way. So it makes it easy to breed them and to keep them alive and to be as free as possible without limiting our players to one single island for a long time. I make my aphids use photosynthesis so they don't need to have a lot of food, because if you have an aphid where 3 people can sit on the back of, that's a pretty fucking big aphid. That needs a lot of food and water, which is very hard to get. So to limit that, we just make sure it does photosynthesis, it doesn't need too much food. It's a normal horse basically for food reasons, so you can still use this. I'm a biologist. I don't believe in half-breeds between wolves and cats. Doesn't work. Or elves and dwarves. No crossbreeds. But we do have paragons. We do have exemplary species. Exemplary. What do you call it? Specimens of a species. So better humans or better dwarves or better whatevers. 1 sec. Sorry about that. Herpes. So we got that. With no playable angels, demons, and devils, they can appear in the story, but they can't be played. And any normally aligned creature can be of any alignment here. So a devil could be a good devil, but you could have an evil angel, stuff like that, you know? I don't want them to be locked in a alignment. I want to play them as I think is fitting for the story right there. Okay, that's the basic premise. Then with the organization, the nation makes up, the whole nation. We don't have nations, as I said. We don't have big wars. We don't have big armies and stuff. They're all from the same place. No industrial revolution? No, they don't get that. They don't get that. They get aphids. Also, I'll talk about inhabitants in a second because that's really interesting. But no industrial revolution. No, they got the magic. They got their things, and they're mostly nomads traveling between islands and stuff. We got some who are actually settled, but it's not gonna be big cities. So we have mostly small villages, 5 to 20 residents per village, and 1 to 4 villages per island. I don't have the best memory, and I know my players, I know my D&D players, and if I give them 20 residents, I have to think of all of them a name, I have to make them all a background, and make them all something, and some will get abducted away or whatever. No. It's too much for me. I can't remember all that, so I make it small. So it's easy for me to put them into little blocks where I can remember them. Because if I have 20 residents, it's a lot. So usually it will just be 5 residents, and maybe there will not even be cities. I don't know yet. There's no organized religion because this is the dream of a god. He doesn't dream of religion or religious people or something. He just dreams of a world where he can make friends. There's no oversized, there's no churches, no chapels, no overarching religion. There can be clerics though, they can be, but they cannot have an overarching god or anything. They can't have that. They can be a cleric of a feeling, maybe a cleric of love, or a cleric of war, or a cleric of, well, wars do not exist, but you know, stuff like that. With localized worship of deified creatures, so there could be an angel, for example, it could be the protector of a mountain, and they deify that, but it's not a deity, it's just an angel being there, protecting them or helping them or whatever, and they can deify it because it lives so long or something like that. It can be the wise angel, you don't know. Could also be a big frog, I don't know yet. It could be anything. But I like that fact, mostly the Japanese worship of a specific Mount Fuji has its own spirit and stuff like that. I like that kind of thing, and that would be fun to have different kind of more important creatures be deified that way, but not mandatory by the whole population. So when we come to our inhabitants, we need to have a reason why my players are together and why they are traveling. That's why I have this. So we have the travelers who are exploratory. They raise the aphids. The aphids are something special of the travelers. Others cannot really raise them. They can buy them. They can use them. The merchants need them to travel around, and I think some summoners also need that. But they don't really raise them. They don't know how to. That's the specific trait only travelers can do. And they can buy books. They are the teachers, the ones who spread knowledge, because they travel around, they find out many things, they learn things. They're also welcome to most places because, well, people want to tell their stories and want to learn more stories. They are the ones who allow for a transfer of knowledge between civilizations. Not so much the merchants, they do a bit, but mostly the travelers who do that. So those are also the teachers. They spread around, descendant of offspring to travel on reaching adulthood. So at adulthood, the travelers who went to an island and settled there with their spouses, they'll raise their children. As soon as the children reach adulthood, they get their own aphids and then get sent in groups of 3, because that's what aphids can carry. Groups of 3 to travel around and find different places, to colonize islands, to move along. I'm not sure if they can come back to another island. I don't think they can. They kind of get pushed away. It's your time to travel around and find new places, basically. I don't think I'll let them come back to the main island. Then you got the merchant, of course, because you need to have some trade between them, because you need to bring goods from one place to the other. They have good water over here, they have good food over there, stuff like that. You need to trade between them. So we got merchants who live in family groups. They could be solitary or caravans, usually caravans, and they travel on fixed routes between certain islands. So you have the Traveler Island 1, and travelers can make more islands, and a few different islands, an island of summoners, which are the crafters, and other islands, and they can travel between them and sell things between them. They usually have a certain territory which you travel, and have fixed times for festivals and fairs where a lot of them combine and get together, and everyone can come by to buy their wares. They usually don't go to every village, and then the villages who don't have a merchant yet, they can come to these fairs to buy their stuff. That's the whole idea. So we got big organized fairs, might be on uninhabited islands, and they have the fairs there maybe. Then you have the summoners, because we do not have crafters, they do not exist. They cannot summon written books or works, they cannot learn from the outside. They summon things, they summon items, they summon armor, they summon swords, they summon food, they summon all those kind of things. There are no crafters here. So everything needs to be summoned. So there is also one very unhappy plane of existence where crafted items keep disappearing. Yes. Yes, this is a parasitic world. It is. So we don't know if it's known there or here what that plane is. We don't know what the relics are from either plane. It could be very interesting to see what happens if some traveler somehow appears here and he's from a plane where always crafted items disappear, and they come here and see that nothing is crafted or ever gets summoned, which is yikes. They steal our shit. Here's the thieves. Yes. Anyway, the summoners cannot summon written books or works, so they can't learn from that. They get taught by traditions within the family and all kind of secrets about how to make the best magic circles. The work of magic circles, they are expensive, they're hard to make, and they are stationary. Summoners cannot travel around and just summon things en masse. They have to go to a specific place to summon things, or have to make a summoning circle on a specific place and stay there. It's their home spot. They don't really travel around, they have to guard it from other summoners who can steal their secrets. So they stay there and are dependent on the merchants to bring around the items they need to survive and to sell their wares to other traveler tribes or other summoner tribes. So these are the kinds who are stuck in location. They're the thieves, basically, who steal for the whole world and sell it to the merchants. They take the world of the crafters. They require long-term valuable magic circles around specific magical places. This makes it more locked in. You need to find these places. Those who find these places are, of course, the travelers who find them, inform the summoners who might just then do an offshoot family to that new magical hub, whatever, where they can set up a new crafting circle and find out whatever the hell they can craft or can summon from there. Very interesting way to have a parasitic world. I think it's fun. Can do a lot of interesting things in the world. Now, this is just how I set up my world for now. So at the moment, the world works with travelers who go around, they explore the world, they learn about things, they teach others, and they send their children away to explore more and colonize more. They basically keep on spreading. They're kind of the locusts going around and spreading through all the islands. There's infinite islands, so that's no problem. There's no nation, there's no big armies. And let's see. And then for the party, the whole idea of this world is a dreamt up world by a god. So this god dreams about making friends. And he has trouble making friends because, well, everything that even looks at him properly dies because he's just too infinite, too amazing, too awesome. So to get friends, you need people to actually become strong enough to resist the damage they get from seeing him and be able to talk to him without dying instantly. So he needs them to become a specific level. Yes, there we go. There's the gameplay. So the players are supposed to become the god's friend. The god is paying attention to them because he actually dreamt them up. That's why the god is around the players. So you might sometimes see him in the corner of your eye. You might see sometimes or hear the footprints of a mammoth going by somewhere, even in midair. And you're like, where the hell is that from? And they can't see him because if they can see him, they die. So he's trying to hide from them, but he's not very good at that because he's a hunter, gatherer, caveman, not the smartest god ever. So they will get glimpses of him. That's also why the world is made up of his face. I mean, it's trying to give them a little piece of himself to see and see if they will survive seeing that, to see if they get strong enough to become people he can interact with. So the party has to become strong enough to so they can actually safely see and interact with Vulgaris without taking damage. Vulgaris is always close because he's streaming them up. Sometimes one of the party can see more clearly, which will cause damage and all kind of nonsense about that. Now, how to motivate the party to start traveling? The first island is the island of travelers, which I just explained. Birthdays are on a set date for everyone the same. I think the first day of summer is a good day. We celebrate with a festival. I took this idea from Remnant of Ice, which is the festival of Banapis, where everyone's birthday is celebrated on Banapis, which is a festival Also, when people reach adult age, they get chosen to start doing their specific vocation. They get to assign a master. I took this idea, I think it's a cool idea. I'm going to use the same thing here. But we don't get to assign a master, we get kicked off the island and start traveling because you're travelers. That's what happens on Vanadis. Or a little bit after Vanadis. They get the festival and then they get kicked off, basically. They get their aphid. Now I've made 2 islands, of course. The first island is Island of Travelers, where the players will come from. Only travelers and the children are allowed to live there. Merchants can visit there. Summoners can visit there, but rarely, because they want to keep their secret and want to guard that. There's no guards, so they have to guard it themselves. After reaching adulthood for the travelers, children are being sent away by adults, parents, on their own travel. The traveling group of 3, because that's what fits the aphids. And I'm not sure if it's impossible to come back. I think yes, because it makes it more of a journey to find your own future, and you know your parents are there. You might be able to send messages back with other travelers, but they're not really allowed to come back and settle with their parents. That's the whole point. The point is that they keep spreading out. And if they find another island of travelers and want to stay there, they can, but they're not allowed to go back to where they came from. It's also biologically logical, because that makes sure that the new people coming in are never family of yours, and therefore you can safely have a population there. Let's see. The traveler is a specific cultural group where the children are sent away to travel. Indeed, when they want to start a family, they can look for other islands of travelers or the inhabited islands and make them into an island of travelers. They cannot return to the previous home island, maybe visit. I'm not sure about that yet. And that's also why I made sure, because they have to travel around to find another traveler to start a family with. Oh, ads in progress. Dang it. The ads are working. I need to wait. Ads are working. We will wait for them. I need a big message for ads, man. I was so into explaining it all. Now I have to wait again. Ads, man. Ads. So I'm hoping not overflowing your brain with all the information here. It's a lot of info. It's a lot. I'm just trying to find where's the hooks, where's the things that don't make sense, where are the things that make it not work. That's what I'm looking for. And the ads are over. My apologies, guys, I didn't see the ads start, so sorry for not waiting for you. If there's any part you want to know about, just ask and I'll repeat that part for you. So, we got the world made, we got the reason for why the world is there made, we got the different people on the island made, we got a reason why the players are moving made, and oh yeah, the aphids. When the travelers want to start a family, so you're traveling around, you're voyaging, you're exploring things, and you want to start a family, you have to find someone who's of your own species. If you're a dwarf, you have to find another dwarf. If you are an elf, you need to find another elf. There will not be half elves or half dwarves or half whatevers. No, I don't want. They have to find another traveler who will be able to do that. And so when they find the other travelers they want to hook up with, the problem is that the animals they're riding need also be compatible, which would be difficult. So I chose for an animal that's always compatible, because normally it makes clones of itself, the aphid. Aphids make eggs to survive the winter, and then they from the eggs become only females, and the females will clone themselves, which they can, and give live birth to clones, which will go over the summer. And at the end of summer, they will try to find they will breed out some males. I think the males already made with the egg phase. I think that's where the males are made, and the males will probably come out later. And they mate with the males then to actually have proper breeding and make more eggs for over winter. So the aphids can asexually reproduce, which makes it useful for here. So if you find someone who you want to hook up with from another aphid, you can just take both your aphids and don't have to worry about reproduction. It's fine. They can do without a mate. So it makes it easier, because that keeps it more possible for players to have more options to choose from. I want to give my players many freedom and as many options themselves, and not lock them down with things. So these aphids do not need to don't need to die off before winter, because then my players will be stuck all winter and that would be boring. So I don't want that. And the aphids also can reproduce with themselves. They don't need anyone else. They just clone themselves, so that's fine. Of course, they don't go as fast as a regular aphids because it's way too fast. Yeah, I think we've got a decent idea. A world that works. And I've made another island just for funsies. I thought, oh, I need to make a lot more islands though. I need to make a lot more. There's one example island. One example is the island of water. It's basically I rolled out. It's basically this here. The island of water. You're on this island, and the island is a lake in the middle. And there's 4 villages around it. 4 small villages. They cannot sail big boats into the lake. They can only sail very small sloops into the lake, because this lake here is the elemental plane of water. So from this part of the island, you cannot see the other part of the island. It's like an infinite ocean, but you can walk around it in 3 hours. It's not that big. But if you go and set off from the shore, you enter the elemental plane of water. So you only enter with small boats, and you always be brought to another shore boat on the plane of water in a safe-ish location. You don't know who will be on board of a boat, if they will be friendly or not, you don't know. And they can go and fish there, but only people from this plane can travel in and forth, and they can take off from a big boat and go into a small sloop and sail away and just row away from a big boat in the middle of the ocean. They will arrive at their home village. But people from the plane of water cannot travel that way. So if there's anyone on the boat who can travel, the whole boat won't travel. And this way they can visit the plane of water, they can fish there, they can get food from there. And even if the players want, they can go to elemental plane of water and just continue the entire campaign there, that's fine. I have to plan for that, but they can if they want to. But it's one of the islands where there's literally the elemental plane of water in the middle. Of course, this island will have an eye from Vulgaris, because the elemental plane of water is 1 tier of the god. 1 tier of him. Yeah, that's that here. And you can have whole pirates encounters and stuff inside that plane of water if you want to. There will be some islands in the plane of water, of course. Maybe some islands made of debris from old broken down ships who then lashed together from some kind of think water world. Where they made all ships come together in a big flotilla and make cities out of that. That might be what you can find in the elemental plane of water. And I'm not too sure if they will go in there, but that's an option. So this is one of the islands I thought of, and it works within the world. And once again, this is a parasitic world, so they will take fish from elemental plane of water, bring it back home and eat it here if they want to, or they just go out and just stay in the plane of water. And that's just one of the islands. So that is what we thought of today. I think it's a pretty good start for a world. The world building is decent, I think. I have to think of all kind of details and little things and more items and stuff, but we gave the players a logical reason to go. It's tradition to go. We gave them a way to go, which is aphids. We gave them something to explore, more islands. We gave a reason for the world to exist, that's the dream of a god. We give them a reason to travel, both the god gives them a reason and they have a reason themselves, so inherent reason and internal and external reasoning. They can see the god a lot, so they can play a lot of fun things with, hey, there's something in the corner of your eye, or you hear something weird. I can do that a lot, which I think is fun. I will not tell my players about all of this, of course. They just start in a village of travelers. They get to learn about the traveler ways and about aphids and nothing else. And have to figure out how this all works. They will not learn any of this. It's all secret and hidden and have to figure it out. Which I think is really fun. And they might not figure it out how it works, which is all fine. If they just want to travel around from island to island, it's fine. And I can easily write little stories and think, hey, there's a point where the display wants to learn this, want to see this. I can work that in and give it a separate island and make that a thing. So I can easily adjust this to fit my players. And my goal is to get them to level X. And I have to still think what level X is, where they can actually interact with the god. And become his friend. Maybe. Or not. Maybe they decide not to become friends and the god will be disappointed. It might even wake up. You never know. The world will be gone. You never know. I think we're good. So, Mr. O, what are your thoughts, mate? Or anyone else? I think we have a decent start. Now, I wrote this because I had the idea this morning. I want to do it for my friends. I want to see if I can DM a campaign again because it's fun. I have a bad memory, so that's why I have to make things chunk size. So that's why I make lots of little islands, so it's easy to remember. Hey, that island had that. That island had that. It's all little chunks I can easily work with. And the islands probably float around, so they're not locked in position. They probably have some kind of orbit or whatever, so the merchants can find where they are. They're not too far from each other, but I can relocate them if necessary. And they're kind of in between planes, so they have planar travel, easily available with the water plane in this case. And where does summoning come from? They might try to find that out. Where did the summoning things come from? You know? One very unhappy plane. Maybe it's a plane of Vulcan with all smiths. I don't know. Something like that. Or maybe it's different planes. That's why they need specific magical foci in the world where they make their summoning circles around. And that we tie to a specific plane they steal shit from. Because it's a parasitic plane. Yeah. I think we have a cool original concept here. With a lot of little things brought in from different places. I mean, we got Rimworld in there. We got we got One Piece in there. We got Ribbon of Ice in there. We got biology aphids in there. I mean, we got all kind of stuff in there. I think it's a nice bit of soup. Nice bit of soup. Yeah, I have to, of course, make it proper. So, that's a good question. The name, theme, design can be on the same page. Organization, output difference, I think. Yeah, that will get a different page. That's all. Oh, 10%. Okay, fine. Fine. Different page, then organization, then the party gets different things, of course. It's a party, so the rules based gates around them, and the god wants to be their friend. That's the whole thing. Let's see. That's motivation. That's the island. So to make a lot more of these, so. We have space to work with, so we got kind of pages. Good. Very good. Let's save this as is. Now let's see, can we get a cool picture of this? I think we can. Probably make my own, I guess, but for now we can take something. But we need to take someone else's art. I don't want it. No, that's not cool. I have to make it myself. We have to make our own voice somehow. I'm no artist, so that will be great. That will be great. What somehow. So got all this. I'm gonna save this. Save that. Doesn't need to be an ASO. That needs to become a. Let's put it here. Let's put on the channel trip. Then we go into the golf stream. I still have to think of a cool name, so if you have a cool name, let me know. There we go. So let's clear all that. There we go. File save as. So, challenge chat, the biggest challenge ever. I think we start with this. We make it brown. Make yourself a mammoth. Of course, will be my style of mammoth. So there, I guess. That could be the second leg, right? Of course, we remove the back part here. Mammoths have big legs, they're pretty long. I mean, they might need to be a bit longer. He's a mammoth. He's not a small-time creature, he's a fucking mammoth. There we go. Oh, that's better. Then we need something similar from the other side, but then not as big. Maybe just behind it, I guess. Something like that. Just do the same kind of. Ah, there we go. Nice angle there. There, I guess. Yep. And let's get rid of this can be from that. Separate this somehow. Let's for now make it a little bit darker, I guess. A bit darker. Ah. Of course, conceal this, of course, goes behind the body. Yeah. Delete that. There we go. Also need to delete a little bit lower, but it's fine. Actually, no, it needs to be deleted. Become deleted. There. There we go. Now the front legs are probably the same because I'm lazy and I'm bad. Get rid of that line there. Actually, no, it's just gonna be a bit bigger. I think there. There we go. 4 days. That's start. Got all this still. Chat, you didn't grab your stuff. So let's see. What would be the face of an elephant? I think we're gonna stick with the same shape, right? I think the elephant's head is pretty big. Let's put it like that. Pretty high. It's the dark version, that's good. Then we need some ears and stuff. Let's first do this. That. Take the same shape. Ears darker? I mean, why not darker, right? As colors even darker. Wait. Ears are floppy and long. Got an ear. Probably make a second ear, but for now let's keep it. One big ear. I need some eyes, which probably be black. So I don't want to make it a sad one, but it will be a sad one for now. We need a mouth, of course. Even darker? No, I think we already have darkness. That is pretty. Actually, shape is fine. It's just the color is not fine. Take that color. Zooming in. Okay. We can't, because only 1 pixel wide. That's not great. Fine, fine. Make it. That's the worst. That's the worst. Worst mouth ever. That's okay. For now, it's okay. Do we use this thing? No. Just wait. I mean, actually, for a side maybe. I think we want to get it kind of to the ground, right? And then we curve it up, yeah. So this is where the bottom starts. It's where the bottom ends. There, I guess. And start pretty low under the nose because it's really, really big. Trunks are really, really big, guys. Really, really big. Something like that. And then I'll just fill this in. Those crabbers down there. I have to make some kind of overchange from one to the other, so probably stripe that, but it's fine. We'll do that later. Got ourselves some kind of armor. We do need tusks, of course. Tusks. Ivory, big tusks. It should be a bit yellowish. I mean, we're making something nice. It's fine. Tusks. How do I make tusks? somewhere there, I guess. Now the shape is usually, let's see, a tusk shape. It's mostly curled towards the front, right? If you look at the front, if the elephant's head, which is kind of triangular, and we need it to be lower, but I think it's kind of turned towards you. So if that's the case, I mean, it should be lower and up. That's what we need to make. Yeah, okay, let's see if we make it here. So it needs to get out of there. Might be too high. Actually, kind of the same height. I think that's decent. Take it from here and put it in the same spot because it needs to be. Don't want it to become thick. It's gonna become thicker and a little thinner. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. Let's letters. Bam, 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 and bam. Our lips need to be over that. So lips fall over the tusk, not under the tusks. Work on details here. Oh, that's not the right color. Coloring. Coloration. It's a bit low, it's fine. A little bit of this. There. 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 It's the most beautiful mammoth ever, of course. We have to lower the forehead a bit. Maybe lower the forehead a bit. Yeah, I think we do. I think we should take this. That seems more fitting. That seems more fitting. Bit of size. I have to make a second tusk as well. Actually, just do you copy it and just overlap it? Ah, that's too simple. I mean, I like simplistic, but that's too simple. Yes, chat, we're making an elephant. Or, well, a mammoth. Mammoth! I think I would overlap here somewhere. So take you. Right, yes, you are. So from here, go to the same tip. And it follows the curve, but not perfectly. You change the color and make it yellow for now. Just get a different color. Make it better in a second though. There we go. This one needs to be behind the front one, so we have to make this line again in white. But that's fine. If I can, that's make sure the trunk still is over that because it's a front. A single pixel. There. Yellow. I'm doing extremely detailed work for no reason, of course. That's how we do. Full consternation mode. No, that's not right. That's next to it. There we go. And I want it to be white, but a bit off-white. So it's a little bit grayer. I'd love to make this something different. It's fine. That's. There we go. Bit of shadows, a bit behind it. Now the body needs a color. I could make it the same color as the front and stuff. At least for now. Ah, there it is. I can't fill these in because then the legs get filled in, so I need to get rid of the line. Yeah. That's good enough. I need a line over there as well. While I'm here. Twinkle hole. So that should fix this. Yep, it is. And I'll grab you again. And the line. Oop, there. Too far. Too far. Welcome to Art with Asmo. I don't really do art normally. Here's my type of art. Nice and janky. That needs to be above that. Needs to be above that. There we go. Then same thing here. Cool. And that one is fine, so we can now take that and take it there. Fitting. That's fitting. No overlap or anything. I think we got it. I think we got it. I think we got our mammoth. Say hello to water. Oh, it needs a tail. It needs a tiny tail. Tiny tail! Tiny tail. And a little brush, because there was a brush. Best ever brush. There we go. File, save as. Yeah, forgot. Okay, that's good. That's good. Existing, yes. Overwriting, yes. 1 second. So, my ears are a bit hurting. It's already 1:30. Okay, I need to work on a vulgaris. My voice is kind of dying, so I kind of need to slow it down. Because I've sat too far from the mic and been too much yelling. Need to work on that. But yeah, I'll see if I can make some kind of vulgaris, or maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I don't know yet. So we bit in there in its trunk. I saw it. I see you. There we go. Now we save it. Perfect. Then I have to make vulgaris himself, and that will be done the front of the thing. But with that, I'm gonna call it for today, because my voice needs some rest. I need some rest, and I need to eat. By the way, I haven't eaten lunch yet. I haven't eaten since 4 o'clock this morning. Correct. So I need to fix that. So thank you for watching. I hope you had fun with this kind of weird stream. I hope it was fun to watch. Make me build a world, and we're gonna do more with the world soon. Not sure when. We'll see when we play it. I think we play a bit more tomorrow. I do want to get on the game is talked about Aviaris, I believe it was called. What names? There it is. AV Assembly. There it is. I'm gonna play that tomorrow, and I want to play a bit of that because I think it's really fun. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Hope you get a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm really hoping that my tummy and the rumbling of it is not on the microphone. We'll find out. I'll have to watch it later to see if there's a shield on it. I don't think it is. Anyways, see you later guys. Have a good one, and bye bye.